Tuesday night killing of a mother, Maria de la Torre. Police say she walked in during the robbery and was killed. A well-known Chicago civil rights attorney is defending the man suspected of gunning down a Chicago police commander, Paul Bauer. Scott Kamen is expected to represent Shamari Leggett. The lawyer believes he has a viable case. Leggett fatally shot Bauer in a stairwell after a foot chase near the Thompson Center in downtown Chicago. An Irish company that was in talks with U.S. Steel to buy 440 acres on Chicago's Southside lakefront to create a brand-new city neighborhood is walking away from that plan. Emerald Living announcing yesterday it terminated that purchase agreement with U.S. Steel for the former site of the Southworks Steel Mill. Emerald Living's deal to buy the land was announced in August. That also allowed them time to assess any needed environmental cleanup. Flight delays are not uncommon, but there was an unusual one at Reagan National. Last night, a plane about to take off for Chicago was held up for 15 minutes after flight crews spotted turtles crossing the tarmac.
We got a turtle crawling across the end of one side. Roger. Is it eastbound or westbound there?
That was the flight crew on that flight headed for Chicago. Yes, they said the turtle was traveling on a southwest path. They decided to spare the turtle. Eventually, the turtle made it into the grass, and the flight took off a short time later. Trey Mancini and Adam Jones had back-to-back home runs in the second. White Sox crushed by the Orioles 9-3. They begin a series with the Tigers next. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game set this afternoon at Wrigley Field. Reggie Meyer tossed a 3-hitter in his first career complete game, and the top-seeded Minnesota Golden Gophers beat our Fighting Illini 3-0 in the Big Ten baseball tournament late last night in Omaha. 4-seeded Illini now play Indiana in an elimination game tonight. The news service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:08 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Is your home ready for the summer? Do you have ugly green and black stains on your home? Spray and Forget, the original no-rinse exterior cleaner, eliminates these ugly stains caused by mold, mildew, and algae. Spray and Forget brilliantly cleans roofs, decks, siding, fencing, walkways, driveways, outdoor furniture, and more. Remove stains up to 50% faster than competing no-rinse cleaners. Make your home and outdoor living spaces brilliant again. Look for the yellow label at participating Ace, Home Depot, True Value, and Do It Best stores.
Snoring is not sleeping. Go to Zeepa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com. Zeepa is the solution that's comfortable, affordable, and effective at eliminating snoring. Zeepa was found to be the only solution proven to work in a national news story. Every Zeepa is guaranteed to work or your money back. Go to Zeepa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com. And use code SNORE55 for free shipping. Zeepa is Happy Z spelled backwards.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace. Right now, get 30% off gallons of our top paint brands like Valspar, Clark & Kensington, and Royal. And with the Ace Extra Mile Promise, we'll help you get everything you need to paint in one trip, or delivery is free. Don't miss the Memorial Day sale. 30% off our top paint brands, now through Monday, only at Ace. Offer valid at participating stores on gallons only. Delivery subject to availability. Visit acehardware.com for more details.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. Well, what about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Founder and President Thomas Jefferson said, "My reading of history convinces me that most bad government results from too much government." That definitely rings true today, as well as in Jefferson's lifetime.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
5:12, and let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good Friday morning. Like in Aurora, River Street is shut down. In the area between right near 2nd Street and Sard Avenue, this after a freight train derailment in that area. We're told River Street will be closed till later this afternoon. Near north side of Chicago, Cambridge blocked off. Chicago Avenue and Oak Street after a shooting in that area. South side, 18th Street closed. Ashland to Loomis, Mole de Mayo Festival this weekend. Southeast side, the 100th Street Bridge is reopened early. Metro has an early getaway schedule today. Right now on the expressways and tollways, fairly light. There is a crash in the northbound tri-state north of Irving Park. That has the left lane blocked. And we have a crash on the inbound Ryan at 71st just reported. Traffic is a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees, while students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sunny to partly cloudy and very warm. Air quality will be unhealthy for sensitive groups throughout the day and night. High today, 88, and a low tonight of 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
68 at O'Hare, 71 along the lakefront, 62 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it broke, the news broke at the end of our show yesterday that Trump broke up with Kim Jong-un before he could break up with him. But he said that he's still willing to be friends if Jong-un is interested.
Are you sure? And
Jong-un and the Norks said that, hey, they're still willing to meet. Yeah. So nothing is over.
Nothing's over.
As it never is.
There's like
really.
this like heavy petting, like flirting here going on. Like, I want you, but I don't know if you want me. Because apparently, well, according to CNN, which I don't know if you could believe this, and other news media outlets, they're saying that there was a preparation meeting in Singapore, and America was there, but the North Koreans didn't show up.
Yeah, right. No show in Singapore.
So he broke it off before he could break it off. President Trump.
He's, you have to respect somebody if you're going to be in a relationship with them. And please
I thought
don't,
Kim Jong-un
please
was
don't
slimming
take
down.
that to the heavy petting metaphor ever again. It's disgusting.
Did I make you feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
Am I Morgan Freeman now? Is this what's going
We'll
on?
get to Morgan Freeman. So Trump pulls out saying that it's a setback, but, basically, America's not going to get pushed around, and America's not going to get snookered.
North Korea has the opportunity to end decades of poverty and oppression by following the path of denuclearization and joining the community of nations. And I hope that Kim Jong-un will ultimately do what is right, not only for himself, but perhaps most importantly, what's right for his people, who are suffering greatly and needlessly. All of the Korean people, North and South, deserve to be able to live together in harmony, prosperity, and peace. That bright and beautiful future can only happen when the threat of nuclear weapons is removed. No way it can happen otherwise. If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting. In the meantime, our very strong sanctions, by far the strongest sanctions ever imposed, and maximum pressure campaign will continue, as it has been continuing. But no matter what happens and what we do, we will never, ever compromise the safety and security of the United States of America.
I'm waiting. It takes Kim Jong-un forever to get ready. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Did Trump make the right call by canceling the proposed summit next month? Take your calls and texts.
A lot of world leaders were caught off guard. I mean, the president of South Korea called for an emergency meeting at midnight, because it was at midnight their time, did not see this coming. And he was just in Washington, D.C. discussing the meeting. So I feel bad for the people of North Korea because all those reporters are in North Korea right now. They're allegedly blowing up some old nuclear sites. And they said that the people there were disappointed, too, that the meeting's not happening.
Sure. I'm sure that...
North Koreans want a better life. They want food.
Well, I'm sure about that. But the issue is whether Trump was too euphoric at the outset of the prospects for a good faith negotiation towards denuclearization with Kim Jong-un. And so he's taking some heat. On the one hand, you have sort of the foreign policy establishment suggesting that Trump was right to cancel the summit, but he was wrong to agree to it so hastily in the first place. I'm not so sure about that, but the Wall Street Journal opined yesterday, Mr. Trump was ill-advised to agree to the summit without much planning. He compounded the error by talking up its prospects, despite, as you heard the president say, the maximum pressure sanctions campaign will continue. But international consensus will have to be revived, writes the Journal. Even without the summit, Kim scored a major propaganda victory by playing the peacemaker. You mentioned the foreign journalists that are there to witness the closure of a North Korean nuclear test site. I think that's a little bit harsh with respect to the president. I actually think that this is another instance where President Trump has leveraged United States power against one of the axis of evil countries, just as he did by walking away from the Iran deal. Victor Davis Hanson points out, lest we forget, North Korea is a stealthy and illegal supplier of ballistic and nuclear weapons technology to Iran. And the unpredictability of Trump and his willingness to walk, I don't want to go all art of the deal on you, but I think canceling the summit was a fine move. I think talking up the prospects prior to yesterday was a fine move. And I think actually he's having his way with Iran and North Korea, and he's reestablishing kind of American not just exceptionalism, but hegemony in the world, leading from the front, not from behind. And, so I just don't see it like the foreign policy establishment sees it with the cancellation.
Well, President Trump thinks Kim Jong-un's tone changed after he had a meeting with the president of China. And then they came out and they called Vice President Trump or Pence a political dummy, which was strange.
That's it.
I mean,
you
was
can call me whatever you want. You don't pick on Pence.
You don't pick on Pence, but also, too, they talked about, they still are a nuclear stronghold. And that in the letter that President Trump sent to Kim Jong-un, he said, you talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God that will never have to be used.
The rogue governments of North Korea and Iran more vulnerable than ever, writes Victor Davis Hanson. I agree with that. And Trump's approach to them has something to do with that.
He did get the 3 American hostages released. I mean, something did come out of this.
Bruno in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I see China's hand all over this. I believe China's been using North Korea as a bargaining tool, as a sort of quid pro quo in the trade talks. And most recently, we've started getting harder with China on these trade talks, and it just seems more than coincidental that right after that, right after the meeting between Un and Xi, the North Koreans do an about-face. And I also think it's why the United States disinvited the Chinese from the annual RIMPAC military exercises in the Far East, because I think they see China's hands in this.
Well, there's no question, but at the same time, you see some progress being made towards some deals on trade with the Chinese, right? The ZTE essential bailout in exchange for lowering some trade barriers on U.S. agricultural products. That's a possibility. That's not a done deal yet, but the kind of broad outlines of a possible deal were announced earlier this week, discussed by Larry Kudlow on the Sunday programs. Thanks for the call, Bruno.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Excuse me. Where did that come from?
Question from Steve on 88. Did I hear you right? Kim Jong-un got friend zoned. Yeah, you heard me right. That's right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, top Democrats claim there's no evidence of spying. And guess who spoke? If you listened yesterday, you'll know who. But first, here's your forecast. Today, mostly sunny, very warm. Unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups, they say. So I guess if you have asthma, things like that, allergies, be careful. A high of 88 degrees. Put on that mask. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots, and again, unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups. A low of 67. Your weekend looks very good. Saturday, we're at partly sunny skies, a shower or thunderstorm around, very warm, a high of 89. And on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 92. And on Monday, mostly sunny and hot, a high of 90 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Are the roadways jammed already with people trying to leave town? Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Well, right now, no. Actually, things are in pretty good shape, but do take a deep breath before heading out and driving this weekend. It'll be an active traffic weekend, and we have some issues right now. Chicago's near North Side, Cambridge is blocked off. Chicago and Oak Street shooting investigation. Aurora, River Street shut down till probably sometime this afternoon between Sard and 2nd Street for a freight train derailment in that area. Expressways and tollways right now are pretty light. Inbound Stevenson, little tight central to Pulaski, about a 2-minute delay there. Inbound Ryan, you've got a 1-minute delay from Roosevelt into the Circle. Bishop Ford, a 2-minute delay approaching the merge. The other expressways and tollways look good. Metra has an early getaway schedule today. More trains leave downtown early in the afternoon, fewer later. Baseball traffic in Rosemont tonight. Chicago Dogs have their first game. The Cubs are home this afternoon. Plenty of traffic in Wrigleyville. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week, a reprisal of our Smoker with Larry Elder, the sit-down 45-minute interview I did with Larry Elder. You want to check that out. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries from yours truly this week on Nancy Pelosi and her spark of divinity. Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments, this latest edition on marijuana legalization in Illinois. Our new series, Fresh Cuts, talking about urban problems from an urban perspective, urban denizens. And Heart of the Matter, our our series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. Defendhomeowners.com, free property tax report on your home, as well as home sales information from 2017 to give you a sense of what the market looks like in your community and neighborhood. All the home sales and property tax info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
Just in time for Memorial Day, Joe Cotton Ford is announcing $750 bonus cash for all active military and veterans. Also, during our June 9th Drive for Your Community event, we are partnering with the Carroll Stream Parks Foundation to help raise up to $6,000 for Carroll Stream's Veterans Memorial Plaza. You can help by simply test driving one of America's best-selling vehicles. For every test drive taken, Ford will donate $20 to the Carroll Stream Veterans Memorial Plaza. Please join us at Joe Cotton Ford from 10 till 3 on June 9th for a great day for a great cause, our veterans. Come for the fun and stay for the savings. You'll see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience and why Ford is America's best-selling brand. And don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com.
On select vehicles through July 9th. See dealer for details.
As a business owner, you have hundreds of decisions to make on a daily basis. It's beyond needing to pay bills, keeping employees happy, or what the next step is to grow your business. Part of your stress can be making sure you're protected in a time of crisis. Can you trust that your insurance provider is going to be there when you need them most? When you're looking for a partner who's there for you in your most desperate times, call Insure with Us. You won't have to wait on hold to talk to an agent who's unfamiliar with your policy. Speak directly to who wrote your policy when you have any urgent question or need. Don't hesitate. Get it done today. Get a free quote in less than 24 hours at lowcostinsurance.biz. Choose from dozens of top insurers across the U.S. Insure with Us focuses on finding you the best coverage for your business and for your family. Visit them today at lowcostinsurance.biz. Insure with Us. Coverage for the things that matter most. A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, greatparkinglots.com.
Go to greatparkinglots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of greatparkinglots.com. Greatparkinglots.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Why aren't more people intelligent like me? I'm so lonely.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
Do you think they'll get back together?
You make a date, you show up to the date, and then you wouldn't be so lonely.
Trump is making him want him more. You know what I mean?
He's playing hard to get a little bit, which is good. You know, make him work for it. Speaking of President Trump, this is a cool story. Jack Johnson, the great heavyweight fighter, received a full pardon yesterday. Obviously, posthumously, he died back in the 40s, but he was, the turn of the century, he
was the bomb.
One of the dominant fighters of the last 100 years. I think his fight, was it with James Jeffries? Was that 1910, the fight of the century? I think so.
But the problem is he liked white women, and he was arrested.
He was prosecuted under the Mann Act for taking his white girlfriend across state lines for quote-unquote immoral purposes. As CNN reports, the Mann Act was purported to be enforced to prevent human trafficking for the purpose of prostitution, but
they abused that law.
Obviously, it was applied inconsistently and in a racist manner. And Jack Johnson actually had to serve a year in prison, and it really ended his boxing career. So it's a tragic story for a great fighter.
Well, why did President Obama pardon him? Why did it wait? Because Sylvester Stallone asked President Trump to do it. He was there yesterday when he was pardoned. And who else was there? Lennox Lewis was there.
Jack Johnson's a great inspiration to me, especially throughout my whole career.
I thought that was pretty cool. He was in the background, too.
And I'm sure Jack Johnson wouldn't say Lennox Lewis was a great inspiration to him. Not a great heavyweight, Lennox Lewis. Jack Johnson, great heavyweight. Lennox Lewis, mediocre heavyweight. Yeah. But that's
tried
fine.
to emulate him in the boxing.
No question. And look, you're right. It is a good question why Obama didn't do it. There's been circulation of letters and petitions for resolutions in Congress to pardon Jack Johnson, and it took President Trump to get it done, even though he's Hitler and a racist. So anyway, righting a historic wrong.
That's awesome.
Donald Trump.
Good for him.
Who would have thunk it?
Another tally in the win column. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. What is coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer?
We got to get to that New Mexico State rep getting pulled over.
And also, today's the day Harvey Weinstein has to report because he's getting charged with rape. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
More than a dozen hurt in an explosion at a restaurant in Toronto. 68 degrees at 5:31 on AM 560, The Answer. Police in Toronto say 3 men set off an IED, an improvised explosive device, inside an Indian restaurant in the suburb of Toronto, Mississauga, last night. Police say the men walked into the restaurant around 10:30, where there were birthday parties going on, and set off that IED and ran out. This morning, 3 are critically hurt, 15 are wounded. President Trump pulling out of his June 12th summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, but the president will keep the door open.
Based on the recent statement of North Korea, I have decided to terminate the planned summit in Singapore on June 12th.
Congressman Adam Schiff says he has seen no evidence right now to support President Trump's claims that the FBI or any intelligence agency placed a spy in the Trump presidential campaign.
There is no evidence to support any allegation that the FBI or any intelligence agency placed a spy in the Trump campaign.
Schiff is the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, and he made that comment after a bipartisan group looked at classified intelligence yesterday. Oklahoma police say a shooter is dead after opening fire at a restaurant in Oklahoma City.
The biggest thing is, thankfully, the only person that is deceased is a person that went to harm other citizens, and looks like our other citizens are going to survive at this point.
A spokesperson says 2 suffered gunshot wounds. A third person fell and broke his arm while trying to escape. The shooter was actually killed by someone with a concealed carry permit who came to help after the gunfire broke out. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein expected to turn himself in to New York City authorities today on sex abuse charges. 2 are seriously wounded following a shooting on Chicago's west side near Lockwood and Augusta. Both remain hospitalized at Mount Sinai Hospital. Opponents of the planned police academy on Chicago's west side are attempting legal action to try and stop aldermen from voting on that proposal later today. A suburban Oak Lawn woman accused of killing her infant granddaughter in 2013 found not guilty by reason of insanity. The judge ruling yesterday that 67-year-old Alfreda Gudrajic suffered from a mental illness when she repeatedly struck that baby with a sledgehammer and then sliced the baby's neck. Meantime, the defendant will remain behind bars, and her next court date is June 26. And if you head to a 49ers home game next season, you will not be able to buy beer or snacks during the national anthem. Team owner says concession sales will be suspended during the anthem. Jed York says he doesn't think the team should be profiting, while asking everyone in the stadium to be respectful. By the way, York abstained from Wednesday's vote by NFL owners to fine teams if players kneel during the anthem. Orioles beat the White Sox 9-3. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game series this afternoon at Wrigley. And top-seeded Minnesota beat the Fighting Illini 3-0 in the Big Ten baseball tournament late last night. 4-seed Illini now face Indiana in an elimination game tonight. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says the leaks need to stop.
You know, the president used the word traitors and cowards. Those are his words, and I'm not going to push back. I'm definitely going to remind you that if you don't like where you're working, get out. You don't need to sit in the White House and take notes and then rush to the Hill or Politico or somewhere else. You don't.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This Friday and Saturday, visit Discount Tire for great Memorial Day deals. Get up to $300 on select tire and wheel packages purchased with Discount Tire credit.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we are on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is coming, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
It's 5:37, a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Near north side of Chicago, Cambridge is blocked just near Chicago Avenue. There was an overnight shooting at Cambridge and Pearson. This is east of Larrabee. And Aurora River Street is closed. Sard and 2nd Street after a freight train derailment. The Edens and the Kennedy are clear at this hour. Eisenhower inbound. Delays start at 25th Avenue. It's 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound find at 29. Inbound Stevenson now heavy. 1st Avenue to Pulaski. 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound it's 18 as well with roadwork delays from 87th to 95th. Bishop 4, 23 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Traffic, service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees. Most students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and warm. It might be unhealthy for some because of the increasing humidity and the warmth, and 88 for a high temp. Thunderstorm in spots, low 67 overnight, high of 89 tomorrow. Currently 68. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Hey, let President Trump do his thing on the world stage. Everybody relax. Let him do his thing. We'll talk about that when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. It's time for me to do my Dan Knack.
Dan Knack?
It's a little spin on Karnak, the Magnificent.
Oh.
Dan Knack, not bad. I wouldn't say magnificent. Monica Youngblood, Jennifer Schwartz-Berkey, Stephanie Lawson Muhammad. 3 political ruling class types who don't like being pulled over by the police.
Exactly.
So we've done Berkey and Muhammad, and we'll reprise those for you.
Because
But
those are classic. Because we want to know which one you like best. 312-642-5600. Who does the Drama Award go to for best performance while being pulled over by police? The newest one is Monica Youngblood. She's a state rep, a Republican from Albuquerque. She was out drinking Saturday night, although she says she hadn't had anything to drink.
the field sobriety tests say otherwise.
Right. And she got pulled over. She said she just got into a fight with her boyfriend. And then they asked her to perform some tests.
Do you understand all the instructions?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I'm just cold.
I get it. I wish I could make things different for you, but I can't change the weather. Do you understand the instructions?
Okay. I'm supposed to count until you tell me to stop.
Correct, yes.
So when do you say start?
Do you understand the test?
Yes.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009.
Okay.
yeah, so she got started getting into it.
I don't like the one when they make you do the alphabet backwards. That's hard, even sober. I can't imagine. They didn't make her do that one, but I know that I know people that have had that test done.
Did you ever see the Reno 911 episode where they
No.
make you do like there's all kind of like gymnastics and tumbling exercises, and the person they pull over nails it. It's pretty funny.
Well, she refused to take to blow into the breathalyzer, and
Mm.
so based on
Good idea.
her performance, he put her in cuffs and put her in the back of the car, and that's when she let him know what she has done for people of color and cops.
So many people tell me that you guys treat people like I didn't believe it.
I'm not treating you poorly at all.
The waterworks. There you go.
Well, I can't take you out of handcuffs right now at this very moment just so you can wipe your face.
You guys treat people of color like I always stand up for you guys.
I don't.
I stick up for you guys, and I say, you know what? They're going to treat you like
She sticks up for them
And, yeah.
when people say that they treat people badly. She sticks up for them. That's what
I
she's,
literally fight for you guys. I'm the one that runs the death penalty for people who try to kill cops and child murderers.
Mhm.
And then she had another episode.
Yeah.
Remember
House Bill 14?
Couldn't get it together.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Honestly, she got pulled over at 1:14. That second video was released it was taken at 4:44 after she was going through processing. She still could not stop crying. And so she's been charged with a DUI. She says she's going to fight it in court. Well, okay, good luck with that.
That's okay.
And she's looking forward to bringing this matter to a swift and just conclusion.
Blah, blah, blah. That's okay. All right.
It's not as good. Well, you guys decide. 312-642-5600. Who is the best female politician who tries to push police around?
All right. Our next contestant is Stephanie Lawson Muhammad. She's a South Orange, New Jersey school board member, and she got pulled over, and that's how this went.
Hi, ma'am.
Can I just let her out to walk to school? My name's Stephanie Lawson Muhammad. I'm on the school board. I'm a community member of this town. I'm sorry if I was speeding.
Yes, you were speeding. That's why I'm stopping you.
I didn't realize that I was speeding.
You're doing 37 and a 25.
I'm very sorry.
Okay, do you have your driverless registration insurance, ma'am?
I have it all, but
Okay.
I really, can she get out and walk to
Sure,
school?
that's no problem.
Oh, here we go. There it is. And it begins.
Hey, look, and then my other daughter has to get to school, and she's going to be late.
Okay, ma'am, I'll just try to get you out of here as quickly as I can, okay?
And I'm scared of cops because you guys hurt black people.
And I'm scared of cops because you guys hurt black people. There you go.
Man, do you want me to call you an ambulance?
No, I don't want you to call me an ambulance.
And she's back.
That's an insult.
Okay, I'm just wondering. You look like you might be having a panic attack or
Call
something.
me an
Okay, no problem.
How dare you?
Do you have
Me,
your driver's
Muhammad,
your insurance, ma'am?
That was an insult.
Okay.
She's still upset about that ambulance company.
Just go. Dad is on a plane. Don't call Dad. I'm sorry you have to walk. Can you call Justice and tell her that she's going to be late to park? Can you call the middle school and let them know that my daughter...
No, I cannot.
I mean, seriously.
You're a public servant. Call the middle school. Hey, make yourself useful, copper.
I'm not seeing my driver's license.
I'm not seeing my
I have a driver's license. Can you look at my driver's license? I'm not seeing it.
So you're telling me that you don't have your driver's license?
I'm telling you that I don't.
Okay, do you have your insurance card, ma'am?
Are you Maplewood cop?
No, ma'am. South Orange.
South Orange, great. I'm
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
call Sheena right now.
Oh, I know Sheena.
He's,
Sheena.
yeah, Bigfoot in him. That's
I don't
the
see
village
anyone.
president.
I'm freaked out right now.
Okay, just sit tight for me, okay?
Yeah. And then it continues. She gets the husband on the phone who wants to email the cop a copy of the insurance. It's just one silly
I could listen to that all day.
silliness after example of silliness after another. But then
She's so psychotic because she goes in and out of being angry, like being the victim. Now I'm going to kill you. Now I'm the victim. Now I'm going to cut your throat off.
She was sad, angry. Well, and then she also then talks about I'm going to call, I'm going to call the police chief and the village president, and she calls him a skinhead cop.
Oh, that's
skinhead
right.
cops, yeah.
And shoot, there's a call. There was a petition to try and get her to step down.
Yeah, she subsequently apologized after this incident became public, and said, that's not who she is. What you heard and saw, that's not who she
having
is.
a bad day. You somebody cranky today.
Now that's okay. I think that's a little bit better than Monica Youngblood, but I just don't think either one of those compares to Jennifer Schwartz Berkey, a New York a county board official in New York who got pulled over for speeding as well. And, I mean, this went on for 20 minutes, but this is the 10 seconds you need to understand.
Sorry, I'm having a panic attack. I have PTSD.
It's going to be tough to beat the claim of PTSD.
I mean, you have to see it too. She is out of her mind.
And she does the whole thing too. She does she plays the victim. She cries. I'm poor. I can't afford this. Then she tries to Bigfoot the cop with her relationships.
But then the part is he wasn't going to give her a speeding ticket. He was just going to give her a seatbelt violation, which is $25 fine. It doesn't affect your insurance. And she was so out of her mind that she couldn't process what he was offering her.
Yeah, that's right.
Do I sound like her? I think I sound like her.
Well, she was suffering from PTSD.
Oh!
So this is to say, and this is sort of a little public service announcement for all you elected officials out there. You get pulled over by a police officer for speeding or drinking or whatever it is that you were doing. I'd say less is more. I'd say minimize the communication.
Just know that they all have body cameras on now. They all have dashboard cameras now. You might want to think about that before you freak out.
And I don't know why. I mean, this again.
And lady, stop crying.
The 6 words that should be eliminated from the English language when used together.
What?
Do you know who I am?
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Permaseal. Homeowners often say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room getting wet, do you? Then why do you want to worry about your basement? Permaseal believes that your basement should be dry all of the time, no matter how hard it rains. You can have a permanently dry basement. So give Permaseal a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate and transferable warranties, so you can rest assured you are getting the best value. You know, back in 1979, when Dan was just a young boy, Roy Spencer started Permaseal, and it's still a local Chicagoland business whose purpose is to make the world a better place, one basement or crawl space at a time. Your basement is already dry some of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or just go to permaseal.net. That's permaseal.net.
You've heard us say if your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
Also, if your gutters, siding, windows, or entry door is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
What's that all about?
This is Mark Olson
and Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy.
We created a special deal just for you. Replace your roof and receive free gutters. Or replace the siding or windows on your home and receive a free entry door.
We'll do a great job, and you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that is up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact.
And get free gutters or an entry door as a thank you. Some restrictions apply, and this special won't last long.
We fix roof, siding, and window problems. We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you. If your home is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
Hey there, it's Reese.
And Irvy.
From the franchise concept, Reese and Irvy's. By now, you've heard about our patented frozen yogurt vending robots that serve 7 flavors of delicious frozen yogurt with 6 amazing toppings in less than 60 seconds.
To date, we've sold over 200 franchises, 1,000 robots, and we're officially labeled as one of the hottest franchise opportunities of 2018.
With no employees, no rent, no brick-and-mortar shops, just fully automated robots that work for you and deliver instant customer satisfaction. Revenue for you, smiles for them.
We secure our franchisees' high foot traffic locations like cinemas, hotels, tourist attractions, colleges, and malls. From installation to instant sensation, we provide you all the tools for Froyo success.
No experience is necessary, and full and part-time franchise opportunities are available.
To find out if your territory is still available, go to froyofranchising.com to learn more, and be sure to enter promo code 2222. That's froyofranchising.com, promo code 2222.
Is your home ready for the summer? Do you have ugly green and black stains on your home? Spray and Forget, the original no-rinse exterior cleaner, eliminates these ugly stains caused by mold, mildew, and algae. Spray and Forget brilliantly cleans roofs, decks, siding, fencing, walkways, driveways, outdoor furniture, and more. Remove stains up to 50% faster than competing no-rinse cleaners. Make your home and outdoor living spaces brilliant again. Look for the yellow label at participating Ace, Home Depot, True Value, and Do It Best stores.
Snoring is not sleeping. Go to Zeepa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com. Zeepa is the solution that's comfortable, affordable, and effective at eliminating snoring. Zeepa was found to be the only solution proven to work in a national news story. Every Zeepa is guaranteed to work or your money back. Go to Zeepa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com. And use code SNORE55 for free shipping. Zeepa is Happy Z spelled backwards.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we may have another contestant in addition to Monica Youngblood, Jennifer Schwartz Berkey, and Stephanie Lawson Muhammad for
for consideration.
Yeah, feudal lord political officials, at least those who behave like that when they're pulled over by police. Arlene on the Northwest Side.
Good morning. This woman, this Chicago Board of Education person is probably deceased. This happened many years ago, but because I was PTA president, I had to attend all the Board of Education meetings at that time. And one of the ladies sitting next to me said, "See that board member over there?" I said, "Oh, wow, she arrogant." She said, "Well, she got hers. She went to a grocery store, long line. She decides to take her stuff, and she goes to the front of the line, puts the stuff on the conveyor, and the clerk said, 'Excuse me, ma'am?' She said, 'Well, do you know who I
There
am?'"
it is.
Yes, and the clerk just looked at her and said, "I don't care who you are, lady. Get your stuff off here and go back to the end of the line."
Good.
She got so embarrassed, she left the stuff and walked out the store. Well, we were all laughing. We said, "Wow, it's about time." It's like when you finally you're in traffic and you see an officer finally getting someone who's doing something wrong, because it seemed like everybody always gets away with everything.
Thanks for the call, Arlene. Appreciate it.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
5:57, a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Mike Kennedy runs 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. About Eisenhower, 38 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, already 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 18. Traffic Service of Discover Student Loans, figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sun and some clouds today with a high 88, partly cloudy and more humid tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in spots with a low of 67. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a shower or thunderstorm around during the day, very warm and humid with a high 89. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
The news service of Discover Student Loans, figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:59. And here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. Violent start to the long holiday weekend in Chicago. 2 are seriously wounded following a shooting on the west side. Opponents of the planned police academy on Chicago's west side are trying to take legal action to stop aldermen today from voting on that proposal. A Chicago civil rights attorney known for dealing with police brutality and misconduct will now defend the man suspected of gunning down Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer. Bail set at $750,000 for a man accused of brutally attacking another man with a hammer this week in Glendale Heights. Orioles beat the White Sox. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game set this afternoon. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
North Korea wants President Trump to reconsider. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, the day after he canceled next month's meeting with Kim Jong-un. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, a North Korean vice foreign minister calls the cancellation unexpected and very regrettable and says the North is still willing to sit down with the U.S. in any time and any format to resolve the problems. President Trump says he still hopes to meet with the North Korean leader someday.
If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting.
President Trump called off the meeting after North Korea called Vice President Mike Pence a political dummy and again threatened a nuclear attack. Dave.
Rachel, they're searching for 2 men in Canada who bombed an Indian restaurant late last night, injuring 15 people, 3 critically.
If anyone has witnessed anything or has any information in relation to this incident, please contact us.
Police spokeswoman Irina Yashnik in Mississauga, a Toronto suburb. The 2 men walked in, dropped the device, and fled. A man walked into an Oklahoma City restaurant last night and shot and wounded at least 2 people, including a 12-year-old girl who needed surgery. The gunman was then shot and killed in the parking lot by a civilian who had a concealed gun. Disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, accused by dozens of women of sexual misconduct, is expected to turn himself in this morning to police in New York City on criminal charges.
After facing a judge today, Weinstein is expected to post $1 million bail and then be released. He will be outfitted with a monitoring device and he will have to surrender his passport.
Robert Moses with Fox 5 TV in New York City. There were 2 classified briefings for select lawmakers into what President Trump calls Spygate, if the FBI infiltrated his campaign in a Russia probe. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff was at both, says he saw no evidence of spying
or otherwise failed to follow appropriate procedures and protocols.
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
There's always that time of day when the sun creates havoc at the office.
This is ridiculous.
You're literally blinded by the light. Can't see a thing on your computer monitor and feel like you're baking in an oven. Make your office or storefront distraction-free with custom shades from 1-800-4BLINDS. You'll keep your customers comfortable, protect furnishings and decor from fading, and have happy, productive employees that don't have to stop in the middle of a project because of the glare. 1-800-4BLINDS can get the job done quickly with their local in-house installation crew. You'll save money on window treatments that not only look great, but will also help you shrink utility bills with special heat-reducing shades that can trap heat between the window and shade. They also offer custom painted solar shades with your logo or photo image printed directly on the shade. Get the sun out of your eyes. Call 1-800-4BLINDS direct for a consultation today. 773-447-5448 or visit 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com. That's 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor. This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it's time out between the North Koreans and America. North Korea saying after the president canceled the summit meeting that they're still open to meeting. And President Trump, in his address explaining the basis for the cancellation, said, he hopes Kim Jong-un gets his act together and is willing to meet someday.
So you're saying there's a chance?
As well.
North Korea has the opportunity to end decades of poverty and oppression by following the path of denuclearization and joining the community of nations. And I hope that Kim Jong-un will ultimately do what is right, not only for himself, but perhaps most importantly, what's right for his people, who are suffering greatly and needlessly. All of the Korean people, North and South, deserve to be able to live together in harmony, prosperity, and peace. That bright and beautiful future can only happen when the threat of nuclear weapons is removed. No way it can happen otherwise. If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting.
We're waiting, and we'll see. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Colonel Cedric Layton, CNN military analyst and security consultant who served on the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the National Security Council. Colonel Layton, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Oh, you bet, Dan. Good morning.
So was Trump right to cancel the summit?
Yes, I do think so. I think he was right because of many of the insults that were hurled in his direction and and frankly, in the direction of the United States. Having said that, though, I think the timing of everything was definitely a bit off in the sense that we have an opportunity here to do some things. It was a way for two nations that hadn't spoken to each other for real since the end of the hostilities in the Korean War. So there was an opportunity that they're still trying to realize. As is evidenced by the president's remarks that you played, and also the North Korean statements. But I think that given the kind of rhetoric that we heard from Pyongyang, it was very important for the president to put a marker down and say, not so fast, and in essence, don't talk to us in this way.
Well, what put the nail in the coffin, though? I know that not Kim Jong-un, but one of his associates called Vice President Pence a political dummy. And then they talked about,
No, you're a dummy.
No, you're a dummy. And that, even in his letter, President Trump wrote to Kim Jong-un, it says, you talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God they will never have to be used.
Right. And so, Amy, when you look at the president's letter, there's kind of this dichotomy of very nice, let's see if we can make a deal type language. And then there's the warning, and the warning being, if you go down a certain road, there is a great risk to you and to your regime's survival. So I think what the president was doing was he was trying to play into the desire and really the imperative of the North Korean regime to keep the Kim dynasty alive. Kim Jong-un wants to do everything in his power to maintain that power and to keep that dynasty going as part of North Korea. So when he goes and does things like he did with the president of South Korea, with President Moon, he is putting himself at to some degree of risk. And there is a report that he was actually concerned that if he went to Singapore, that to meet with President Trump, that he risked a coup d'etat in North Korea. Whether or not that was possible, it's certainly something that we have to consider as we look at possible options for a future meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Despite some general agreement that President Trump was right to cancel the summit, there's still some criticism the president is taking from the foreign policy establishment. For example, the Wall Street Journal editorial board opining that Trump was ill-advised to agree to the summit so readily and without much planning in the first place, and he compounded the error by talking up its prospects up until the cancellation. Is that a fair criticism, or is that just a foreign policy establishment that doesn't appreciate Trump's approach to these rogue nations?
Well, I think it is a fair criticism, but I'll caveat that with this thought: the idea that you can do something bold and something innovative almost never is appreciated by any establishment, especially the foreign policy establishment. And you think about let's say Reagan's move, with Gorbachev. Everything from his speech at the Berlin Wall, where he spoke about, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Nobody wanted him to say that. The only person that really wanted to say that was Reagan himself, and he insisted on putting that back in his speech.
Same with Evil Empire, right? Evil Empire had the foreign policy establishment wedding themselves.
Exactly, and so these kinds of bold moves, this kind of innovative thinking in foreign policy, that is something that no establishment really likes. But in this particular case, the difference between, let's say, Reagan, and how he dealt with Gorbachev, Nixon, and how he dealt with China, those summit meetings were meticulously prepared. And I think the danger here is, at least the supposition on the outside is, that the Trump administration is not preparing themselves as thoroughly as those two predecessors did, for their respective meetings. And I think that's something that they really should take to heart. It doesn't hurt to prepare. It's great to be innovative. It's great to, create the conditions for peace. But you also have to know what you're dealing with. You have to know the history of the people that you're dealing with, and you have to, anticipate some of their moves. And that's the kind of thing that I think becomes very important, for the Trump administration going forward.
Yeah, and there was also a prep situation last weekend in Singapore, and the North Koreans didn't show up for it. So I think that's one of the reasons why, too, that we'll break this off before you break this off. But I want to get to the reporters that have been chosen to be in North Korea right now that are at former nuclear test sites that apparently, I've seen the video, I'm sure you have too, that they're blowing up certain roads and tunnels. Is this just a PR stunt, or do you think they're actually accomplishing something?
Well, it looked pretty good on video, didn't it? Where everything was it was blowing up in several different directions. I kind of thought I was watching a Hollywood, outtake from from an action flick. But it's really hard to say. And even journalists like CNN's Will Ripley, who is there, they basically say, look, we're journalists. We do what we do, but none of us are experts on nuclear disarmament or on the physics of something like this. I think that this may very well be a PR stunt, but it's a PR stunt that some of them, at least some of the North Korean officials there, seem to believe in. And I think that we just have to realize that they could be doing this because they may have to get rid of that site. And the reason I say that is there have been news reports both from Chinese sources as well as some scientific sources in the West that basically say that the mountain in which many of the nuclear tests were conducted, was so compromised, the structure of the mountain was so compromised that it was about to collapse anyways. And so they're using this as a way to signal that they're not going to be using that again and take advantage of a situation that was caused by the explosions that they created. And if that's the case, then they're in essence trying to be masterful PR people.
Well, right,
and get some benefit there.
And they could just be covering to build tunnels elsewhere. I mean, there was a report about satellite photos that show the North Koreans building a new facility to make an intercontinental missile that could potentially strike the U.S. elsewhere. So, obviously you can't take anything at face value when it comes to Kim Jong-un's regime.
That's so true. And, they're masters at deception. They're masters at, putting lots of things in tunnels, whether it's their command and control facilities or the weapons manufacturing facilities or a test site. And my suspicion is, as an intelligence professional, is that they have other sites and that they are just getting ready to activate them should they feel the need to do so. And this is more a publicity stunt to the detonation at Pyongyang than anything else. But it does look good when you watch the video.
I want to take a step back and just talk about this philosophically just for a second. Do you think that Trump has a better understanding of the nature of man than did President Obama? In other words, he understands that Kim Jong-un, the mullahs in Tehran, these are not just friends we haven't made yet. And what you have to do when you deal with people that do not share your interests and pose a threat to your way of life is deter them, not embrace them. And because he understands, man has fallen from that perspective, he is also fallen. That informs a different foreign policy approach than perhaps the one taken by President Obama and those on the left who want to see the see the good in everybody, particularly for some reason if you're a dictator.
Yeah, I think that's that's certainly a weakness. When you look at history with people who both U.S. presidents as well as other foreign leaders who tend to appease or try to appease their adversaries. That's a big mistake, and I think there's something to be said for a person who has a business experience, who has worked in commercial ventures of various types, that they may be, not necessarily hard-nosed, but have a different appreciation of others and their motivations. And I think that's an important component to, a leader's worldview. Somebody who comes at it from purely an intellectual standpoint and thinks, everybody's, like you said, a friend that just hasn't been made yet. That's unrealistic. You think of, Chamberlain and Hitler, before World War II. You think of, Jimmy Carter trying to do various things. And those people were generally not successful, when it comes to preparing their nations for possible conflict, and they were also not successful in terms of diplomacy. And the ultimate thing I think that could happen, with vis-a-vis North Korea and with President Trump is that. In some ways, he's unpredictable to them, but in other ways, he is, telling them, okay, these are the consequences. These are the lines in which you can actually work. So, on the one hand, if you upset the balance and you do things against us, fire and fury is the alternative. On the other side, we will embrace your efforts to join the world community if you want to do that, but you better do it, in essence, on our terms. And there's definitely something to be said for that. The question then becomes, how prepared are you if they say yes? And like Gorbachev did eventually, in the case of Reagan and Gorbachev and Bush and Gorbachev. So there are, certain things that could go wrong no matter which philosophy you use. But I think generally speaking, it's better to have a philosophy of strength, some degree of unpredictability, but also a willingness to engage as long as you're not compromised, whether it's your security or your ethical compass or some of the other things that that are part of or should be part of international diplomacy.
Hey, Colonel, do you think President Trump will still win the Nobel Prize? I mean, he did accomplish getting 3 American hostages home.
Well, the idea of getting 3 American hostages home, of course, is excellent for the families and it's excellent for the United States. And I think President Trump was wise to again thank Kim Jong-un for that in his letter to him. I think that as far as the Nobel Prize goes, let's see how this goes. I think more importantly, if he actually does achieve the meeting, then it's really the results of the meeting that are important. I think the release of the hostages, as important as it is not going to really sway the Nobel Committee in his favor. But if he does achieve lasting peace on the Korean Peninsula, that could then make a difference, and the potential is certainly there.
Nobel Prize, who cares? Colonel Cedric Layton, CNN military analyst and security consultant. He's served on both the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the National Security Council. Colonel Layton, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
You bet, Dan. It's a pleasure to join you and Amy. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm a romantic at heart. I still think that they're going to get together and have this meeting. Maybe not June 12th, obviously, but the door wasn't completely closed. He's saying there's a chance, is what he's saying.
Yeah, you still got that royal wedding fever.
I know.
You just want to get people to get together.
I do.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Forecast for today, it's going to be hot. We're going to have a string of very warm days around here. And if you have asthma or bad allergies, be prepared. Get that mask on because today it's going to be sunny, very warm. Unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups. A high of 88 degrees tonight, a thunderstorm in spots. And then tomorrow, Saturday, where it's going to be partly sunny with a shower, thunderstorm. Very warm, a high near 90. Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 92. On Monday, mostly sunny, hot, humid, a high of 90. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. A lot of people calling in sick for work today, taking off from school early for this 3-day weekend. How's the travel?
Not us.
No, we're still here, and so is Jim Telemonte.
That's right. Good morning, Amy and Dan. Good to be here. Not so good on the inbound Stevenson, where people are headed to work this morning. It's just like another day, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. 54 minutes from the Tri-State. The worst of the delays are between First Avenue and Kedzie. Outbound, just a 1-minute delay, Pulaski to Cicero. A little midway traffic there. Edens looks fine. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, 21. The Eisenhower's 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound, 33. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown after a crash near the Skyway. Outbound, 16 minutes. I-57 to 16 minutes. I-80 to the Verge. Bishop, 423. On Tri-State type from the Reagan tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are fine. Metro has an early getaway schedule today. More trains leave downtown on most lines early this afternoon, then fewer trains leave downtown later. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
We just got Denny's ordered. We have order Uber Eats on Fridays, and are you kidding me? I'm going to turn this into a dog bowl for Bunky.
This is what breakfast looks like. This is how you do it right. Denny's, you get your little hash browns from McDonald's. No. No, you measure breakfast by weight.
This is insane. I'm going to have food coma after that. Turnkey IT, if you own a company and you want to be protected 24/7, you're going to want to have Turnkey IT. If you're a business owner, you know that you've experienced your fair share of emergencies, and it always seems to happen at the worst time. It would be nice to have someone on call 24/7, and that is Turnkey IT. The certified pros at Turnkey proactively keep your business computer systems online with remote and on-site support. And right now, for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Enjoy the secure feeling of your network being supported by Turnkey IT 24/7. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Grow My Retirement.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, welcome. I know that your firm focuses on working with couples in their late 50s to early 60s, preparing them to retire with confidence. So what exactly should they be doing differently at this stage of their lives?
Mike, you really have two big jobs to do right now. The first one is protect what you have. Don't have a big loss. Number two, begin developing a dependable, sustainable income stream that you can count on for the rest of your life, so you know how you're going to pay your bills, you can keep from running out of money, and you can leave a legacy. That's retiring with confidence. Mike, I know you're going to talk about this in just a moment, but for the next 5 couples who call in today who have at least $500,000 in their retirement portfolio, we're going to do on a complimentary basis a full-blown retirement plan for them.
Bill, this is a fantastic opportunity because, folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, then having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 couples who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. Again, that's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to sit down and translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Robito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com and click on driving range, then junior golf.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Big vote in Ireland today. So for Chicago Irish who have family back in the old country, make sure they get out and vote pro-life. What is on the ballot in Ireland is an effort to repeal that country's the Eighth Amendment to the Irish Constitution, which states, quote, "The state acknowledges the right to life of the unborn and, with due regard to the equal right to life of the mother, guarantees in its laws to respect and, as far as practicable, by its laws to defend and vindicate that right." Well, I take that as a friendly amendment to our Constitution. That's an effort by, of course, the pro-abort crowd in the modern era, because we're so enlightened, to repeal that amendment to the Irish Constitution.
And by all accounts, it's going to be a tight, close vote. I mean, they did a live shot this morning in Ireland, and there's a lot of people that want to stay pro-choice or to get pro-choice, and there's a lot who want to stay pro-life and keep their constitution as it is.
A lot, of course, celebrities weighing in, Bono, U2, and others that are essentially supporting those looking to repeal that amendment to the Irish Constitution. And unfortunately, Dolores O'Riordan is not alive to represent the other side in the celebrity world, the former Cranberries woman who is pro-life.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, a day of reckoning. Harvey Weinstein, or Weinstein, whatever you say it, is going to be turning himself in moments in New York City. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
15 injured in an explosion in Toronto. 69 degrees, sunny skies at 6:30 this morning on AM 560. The Answer. Canadian police say 3 men set off an IED inside of an Indian restaurant in suburban Mississauga last night. Police in Toronto say the men walked into the restaurant and set off that bomb and ran out. A man who opened fire in Oklahoma City inside of a restaurant is dead, shot by an armed citizen.
At this point, 2 people have been shot. Both those people have been transported to the hospital and are undergoing surgery at this time. One other person was injured by running away from the scene, and he fell and broke his arm.
A police spokesman saying all victims are expected to survive. The president describing his decision to withdraw from the June 12th summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
Many things can happen, and a great opportunity lies ahead potentially. I believe that this is a tremendous setback for North Korea and indeed a setback for the world.
New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez weighs in.
It's pretty amazing that the administration might be shocked that North Korea is acting as North Korea might very well normally act.
The president says his administration will continue a campaign of maximum pressure on the North. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein expected to surrender on rape and sexual assault charges at a lower Manhattan police precinct this morning. Officials in Hawaii are warning those near the Kilauea volcano to take cover as it continues to erupt. The most recent eruption sent ash 10,000 feet into the air. Here in Chicago, 1 man is dead, another wounded following a drive-by early morning shooting at a house party on the south side near 68th and Morgan. A watchdog report released this week shows a CTA purchasing manager stepping down earlier this year after hundreds of inappropriate photos were found on his work computer. The governor's office of Executive Inspector General says that investigation found the manager violated policies by using work resources to view offensive material. Opponents of the planned police academy on Chicago's west side are taking a last-ditch legal action to try and stop aldermen from voting on that proposal today. Members of the No Cop Academy group filed suit to stop the city council vote later today. The suit claims the council's budget committee may have violated the Open Meetings Act by refusing to allow public comments at Tuesday's meeting until after aldermen voted on the plan. Chicago police are looking for the public's help and trying to find a man accused of trying to lure an 11-year-old boy into his vehicle by offering him money. The incident happened yesterday afternoon near the corner of 108th and Washtenaw. Chicago sports, Orioles beat the White Sox 9-3. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game set this afternoon at Wrigley. Top seed Minnesota beat the Fighting Illini 3-0 in the Big Ten baseball tournament late last night. Now the 4th-seeded Fighting Illini will take on Indiana in an elimination game in Omaha tonight. NBA, Chris Paul 18 of his 20 in the second half. Rockets beat the Warriors 98-94 in Game 5 of the West Finals. And the son of former Indiana and Colorado coach Bill Mallory says his father is in hospice after undergoing brain surgery following a fall. Kurt Mallory, now the head coach at Indiana State, posting on Twitter this morning that Bill Mallory, 83, fell on Tuesday. The news is a service of Lowe's. Shop Lowe's Memorial Day savings and get your choice of select hanging baskets or planters, 2 for $10. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offer is valid through 5/23, ends 5/30 while supplies last. Color and selection may vary by location. U.S. only, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Traeger explains why Israel doesn't want to leave the West Bank.
Why would Israel leave the West Bank when it already has a perfect example of exactly what would happen if they did leave?
the Israelis completely left Gaza, and it turned into a base of terrorism, a place to shoot rockets at Israelis.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Gateway Classic Cars is the world's largest consignment company. Visit gatewayclassiccars.com or stop by this Saturday from 9 to noon at their Crete location for their Cars and Coffee Cruise-In. You know the expression, out of sight, out of mind? Well, that pretty much describes the roof on your house. Sure, you can see it from the ground and things may look okay, but you probably don't really know what's going on up there. After the long winter, this is a great time to have your roof professionally inspected by New Life Property Restoration. They'll let you know the condition of your roof and how long you can expect it to last. Here's the best part. This is a complimentary evaluation valued at $250. And for every inspection estimate New Life Property Restoration performs this year, a donation will be made to the Roof for a Vet project to help vets with homes in need of roof repair. With so many choices in the roofing industry, who can you trust? Consider a family and veteran-owned company that's willing to invest in you before they ask you to invest in them with a free inspection of your roof. Consider New Life Property Restoration and their 20-point inspection. Find them at newlifepropertyrestorations.com or 224-220-1444.
6:36 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. It's a heavy commute on the inbound Stevenson this morning. Really jammed. Harlem to Kedzie, also slow Ashland to the Rhine. Looking at a travel time of an hour and 8 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 58 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 40 minutes to 355. Edens is fairly light, 21 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Little sluggish on the eastbound spur past Waukegan Road. Kennedy, 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. Eisenhower, 46 minutes from 390 to the Circle, and outbound 33 minutes. Orion runs 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 423. The only tollway delay is on the northbound Tri-State, the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Traffic is a service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil is on sale for $5.99 a quart. That's Napa know-how. General states prices do not include applicable state local taxes or recycling fees. Offer expires 5/31/18. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and warm. Could be some unhealthy air crossing the area. High of 88 with humidities on the rise. A low of 67 overnight. Currently 69 at O'Hare, 70 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and
there he is, surrendering. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
turning himself into New York Police Department.
right. He is going to face a range of charges related to, of course, his sexual misconduct, his predatory sexual behavior with respect to women.
Well, Lucia Evans, she's a former Italian movie star. I think she's dating Anthony Bourdain right now, believe it or not. She reported to investigators back in 2004 that he forced her to perform oral sex on him. So that is one of the, that's the type of information that a grand jury had to listen to. And they are charging him with sex abuse, rape. They're also looking into the improper use of charity donations that were launched by Harvey Weinstein.
Suggestion for whoever Harvey Weinstein surrenders to this morning, that they wear a hazmat suit.
Whoa, what are all those stains? Blood, urine, or semen? Oh, God, I hope it's urine.
All right, so yesterday, there's this story. This has started the whole Me Too movement, so I'm so glad that he's finally getting his. He has he has to post a $1 million cash bond, believe it or not, surrender his passport His attorney is not commenting to the media yet, but they said that they are going to fight this. Mm-hmm.
And then the other big story yesterday in the Me Too category was Red. You too, Red?
Morgan Freeman. Yes, 8 women have come forward that worked on various films with him, particularly the film Going in Style. And they came forward and just talked about bad behavior. You know, he would rest his hand on my lower back. He would rub my lower back. In one incident, Freeman said he kept trying to lift up my skirt and asked if I was wearing underwear. A lot of inappropriate touching. No accusations of actual sexual abuse. It was more verbal with him. And we have a Chicago connection because there's a WGN entertainment reporter, Tyra Martin. She's worked there for a really long time. She works with Dean Richards and other people.
He didn't harass Dean Richards, did he?
He did not harass
right,
Dean
good.
Richards. But so this is, all right, there's music underneath this because in between when they set up reporters, different reporters come in for these press junkets, they play music to try to keep the mood lively. She's interviewed him, she said, many times. He has repeatedly made comments about my appearance. And he appeared to be flirting with her. And she said that she was in on the joke until one incident where Freeman went a little too far.
Hi, how are you?
I'm better now.
Thanks. I don't have any magic tricks. I kind of feel like I
Yes, you
showed
do.
up for dinner without anything.
I wouldn't worry about that. You got magic written all over you, child.
Oh, thank you. That's good medicine for a single girl.
I'm single too.
Are you?
Yes.
Or are you enjoying bachelor life?
I'm enjoying bachelor life immensely. Because I get to look at you and drool. Don't have to respond to it. Right?
Indeed.
Get busy living. Here's the thing.
Well, wait, can I so when she stood up...
Wait, one thing. Yeah. Perfect musical choice for that conversation.
She said when she stood up and she pulled her skirt, part of her dress down, he said, "Oh, don't pull it down now." And she said that gave me pause, but I never felt completely uncomfortable. I mean, I guess they had this relation. I mean, if you interview somebody many times, and that's, I mean, she kind of threw a fish line out there when she said, "Well, I'm a single girl." Oh, so
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That was, I mean, was what we just heard? Would you consider that creepy or harassing, or was it flirting?
He's single. She's single. I mean,
312. They're both ready to mingle.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Also, the bigger question, is this it for his acting career? Morgan Freeman, now that 8 women have come forward saying that he was verbally inappropriate with them.
And the fact that he's 100.
Well, he could be getting dementia. And when you get dementia, you don't really have a filter anymore. You just say what you feel.
Well, who says he has dementia? You do? He could have. We have no. I'm gonna guess. Let's guess which maladies Morgan Freeman may have.
All right. Well, so meanwhile, there's a CNN entertainment reporter. Her name's Chloe Malis. Thank you. I got that right. She said that she felt very uncomfortable after an encounter she had with Freeman. She explained this on Headline News last night. So she was interviewing the stars of that movie. So it was Michael Caine, Alan Arkin, and Morgan Freeman, and she was 6 months pregnant at the time. And this comment was made by Morgan Freeman. Listen carefully.
One time I congratulated the woman on being pregnant, and she wasn't. And so I've never done it again. For 50 years, I've never done it.
You've learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
Boy, do I wish I was there.
This movie is...
Boy, do I wish I was there, meaning he wishes she was there the moment she became pregnant. And Alan Arkin and Michael Caine, look at him.
Or something. Well, okay.
No, Michael Caine and Alan Arkin, you have to see this clip more because Morgan Freeman's, he's like, boy, I wish I was there. Like he wanted to get in her pants or something. And Caine,
or her womb.
Michael Caine and Alan Arkin, free housing. They both gave a quick glance to Morgan Freeman like, what? Huh?
When Michael Caine gets loud, he gets very loud indeed.
I do say.
I can't do Michael Caine, but if you just as a quick tangent,
what?
Did you ever see the Trip the Trips movie series with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, where they argue about who's got the better Michael Caine impersonation?
Is it good?
I mean, it is fantastic. First of all, they're both good, and the argument is hysterical. All right, now back to the serious matter of whether Morgan Freeman is alleged.
So here's the thing. So again, he's not accused of any sexual abuse. Just rhetorically, he's said some inappropriate things to women. Asked another woman once if she was wearing underwear. He seems to like to put his hands on ladies' knees and lower backs. But do you think he's done? Because I don't want him to be Kevin Spacey'd, meaning put on a shelf and.
Well, he's not.
That's it.
He's not accused of anything on the order of what Kevin Spacey is accused of. And this is, we've said this before when we talk about these Me Too stories. We have to make distinctions between somebody who's accused of rape and someone who's accused of being
creepy,
obnoxious, or creepy, right? Like, arguably Freeman is. Although, I mean, I got to say, maybe I'm a Philistine.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go back to the cave from which I emerged. But those two clips, the coverage they were getting, and the story, the CNN story, because they have 8 women saying he calling what he did to them harassment or just inappropriate behavior or an inappropriate comment. But call me a troglodyte.
I love.
Call me a Cro-Magnon man. But
Cro-Magnon man.
I'm not seeing anything other than flirtatiousness that crossed the line a little bit. But I don't know that this
elevates him to being shunned from Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of those comments, perhaps the second example in particular, deserve a bit of a hand slap. Knock it off.
Right.
That's too far.
But again, the WGN entertainment producer, she said that she was always in on the joke. Like they flirted with each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're
relationship,
right.
Right.
So the question is, the whole skirt thing, that's creepy and that's inappropriate. And if you're making a woman uncomfortable, then stop it.
Yeah, and don't go. Yeah, you took a little too far. Like,
right.
don't pull that down now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I'm enjoying myself.
Right.
I'm enjoying the view. Don't take my view away.
When you ogle me in studio, if it gets too far, I just say, hey, Jason, back it down.
You tone it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, lay off a little. You're making me feel uncomfortable.
Because it's sort of this 8 women have said he made some kind of comment or whatever. And so now it's like because of the volume, now we're supposed to put Morgan Freeman in this category with Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey and others. No, I don't think so. Not based on what has been reported so far.
And real quick, the Gwyneth Paltrow, she's had a axe to grind against Harvey Weinstein for a long time because when she was doing Shakespeare in Love, he called her up to his hotel room, and she didn't think anything was going on, and here she is on Howard Stern.
And you were alone in a room with him,
I was alone in a room with him.
Did you have any vibe leading up to that he might be dangerous?
Definitely not.
He just comes out of the blue with it.
It was out of the blue.
And what came out of the blue is let's give each other massages.
Then all of a sudden, let's go take a massage.
Yeah.
That's the move.
That was the move.
And she felt so uncomfortable. She was dating Brad Pitt at the time, and Brad Pitt confronted Harvey Weinstein, like, knock it off.
He said, if you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you, or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Except we've reported this story before.
No, I know, but she finally talked about it.
Yeah, and the other part of the story that apparently Howard Stern didn't get to, and probably she didn't get to either, is then Brad Pitt went and worked with Harvey Weinstein again after that.
A lot of people did because he was.
I don't care. I don't care what a lot of people did. I'm not excusing it. So let's just holster the Brad Pitt hero worship.
I think you're jealous.
Jealous of what?
Just kidding.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
I'm confused for Brad Pitt's chauffeur all the time. Bob in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Amy just was talking. Morgan Freeman very well may be a creep. I don't know that maybe all these women are right. But that last comment with Michael Caine, I don't think that was about her. I think that was saying that he wishes he was there when Michael stupidly called a pregnant woman who wasn't pregnant.
Could be. Could be. I don't.
Wait, did you see it though? You have to see it.
Was he,
rather than hear it?
Was he addressing her?
Yeah, and he was undressing her with his eyes.
Okay.
It was very
thanks for the call, Bob.
Nonverbal communication, if you know what I mean.
Okay. I mean, this is.
I wish I was there. And he leans in toward her. No, it.
Did he nestle up to her womb?
I want in. Let me in. It looks warm and comfy.
I don't want. I mean, I don't want to make fun of people alleging that they were made uncomfortable, but
You have to watch it, okay?
a text from 847. Every time Morgan Freeman harasses a woman, he earns a freckle. I don't really understand that, but yeah, I get that. Red has freckles. He's Irish. Remember from Shawshank? He's Irish.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
He's an institution man. Red. He just wants to go down to Zihuatanejo.
He wants to go down.
With
Oh, hey now.
with his
Hey,
friend Andy Dufresne.
Oh, right.
Let him alone. They just
Send you here for life. That's exactly what they take.
let them sand down that boat together.
In Zihuatanejo or wherever?
Yeah.
I've had some long nights in stir. Alone in the dark with nothing but your thoughts. Time can draw out like a blade. That was the longest night of my life.
You know, I think you should try some of those lines from Shawshank on the ladies. It's safer.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. South Carolina going high-tech and inmate surveillance. The Los Angeles City Council gives in to street vendors. Those stories next.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor. The way you get your medicine prescriptions is now changing across America. GoGoMeds.com can deliver your medicine right to your door. Ask your doctor to send your prescription to GoGoMeds.com. Once you fill in your information, it's in the system and your prescription is delivered. It's just that easy. Go to GoGoMeds.com and use the promo code MIKE2018 and save $10 on your first prescription. That's GoGoMeds.com and the promo code MIKE2018 gets you $10 off your first prescription.
After fighting to keep drones from flying over its state prisons, South Carolina now adopting a new policy. It will use drones to keep a remote eye on the inmate population. South Carolina becomes the first state to use drones over a prison. Economic reports due out today, including the latest on durable goods orders, an update on consumer confidence, and Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to make a major address to a World Economic Forum in Stockholm. Street vendors in Los Angeles generate about $500 million annually, but until late last month, all of them were prohibited by law. The City Council moving ahead with laws to turn hot dog vendors and sunglass merchants from outlaws to entrepreneurs in time for the summer street traffic. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
And one more thing about Morgan Freeman. He had an affair with his step-granddaughter. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And then she was murdered by Lamar Davenport.
Yeah, you got a good point on that.
He was a little creepy.
That's a problem, yeah.
All right, you know I love MyPillow, but here's the answer for the rest of your body. It's the MyPillow mattress topper. It keeps your entire body comfy and cozy with 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight, helps relieve pressure points, and keeps your body temperature regulated all night, not too hot or too cold. And for the month of May, get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, plus 2 free standard MyPillows with your mattress topper purchase. You heard right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off a mattress topper. You get the same 10-year warranty on your mattress topper and 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now and grab this great deal and others, including 30% off pet beds, sheets, and more. And yes, you can still get the 4-pack deal in May. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Mitch contacted the nation's largest online lender, obsessed with their rocket for a VA mortgage, but was overwhelmed by their ridiculously high closing costs. So he called Team Hochberg, which he should have done in the first place. Team Hochberg secured Mitch a lower rate with substantially lowered closing costs. When securing a VA loan, you can contact the largest online lender who finances the millions of dollars promoting their rocket through higher rates and closing costs.
costs, or you can call a trusted local lender, Team Hochberg, at 312-751-1333, who values the sacrifices you made for our country and has substantially lower closing costs and interest rates, because guess what? We don't have a rocket. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life, a moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, take a quick call. Carla in Chicago Heights. The Heights. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan. Good morning. I was just calling to tell you how proud I was of you for what you did for all of the Republicans in Illinois when you appeared with Pat Brady downtown Chicago. All the things you said were spot on. Your points were exact. They were honest. They were truthful. And they were very pertinent to the time we live in. And Dan, you know, when they got you on there, Pat Brady was just trying to attack personally, and you stayed right with the issues. You stayed right with the message and the point of our party and our values. And I encourage every listener to get out there and see that video on YouTube. It was fantastic, and it gets right to the point, and no one could have done it.
Thanks very much for the call, Carla. I appreciate that. That's for the City Club. You can go to the City Club's website or go online, like you said, YouTube. Just search City Club and me and Pat Brady.
Did you just say YouTube's it?
Well, she's from the Heights. She's got me talking like that now.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
New emails reveal how a tiny dancer and Arnie Duncan tried to score political points on the bodies of dead children at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and Get the news from here at home and around the world. Here is the one and only Mike Scott.
We continue to watch developments in Toronto's suburb where 15, 3 of those critically hurt after an IED, a bomb, explodes at a restaurant. Fox with the latest on that developing story. 2 seriously wounded on Chicago's west side. A freight train derails in Aurora, causing major problems for the BNSF and for Amtrak. Group files a lawsuit to try and stop a vote today on a new Chicago Police Academy. Cubs host the Giants. O's crush the White Sox, and the Fighting Illini lose in the Big Ten baseball tournament. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Harvey Weinstein takes a long-awaited perp walk. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The disgraced ex-Hollywood producer turned himself in to police in New York City.
This is the first time he will be charged in any of the many accusations against him. He is expected to be charged with rape, also committing a sex act. The New York Times reporting a bail package was negotiated in advance and that Weinstein will put up $1 million in cash, will agree to wear a monitoring device, have his travel restricted, and will surrender his passport.
Fox's Laura Engel outside the New York City police precinct. 2 bombers being hunted in Canada after the men set off a device late last night at an Indian restaurant in Mississauga near Toronto. 15 people were injured, 3 critically. There was gunfire at an Oklahoma City restaurant during dinner. At least 2 people shot and wounded.
We just felt so fortunate that there was someone there who was able to stop it.
A passerby who had a concealed handgun shot and killed the gunman in the parking lot. Did Republicans get the answers they were looking for in what President Trump calls Spygate? There were 2 classified briefings. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, told reporters nothing he saw at the briefings changed his mind.
There is no evidence to support any allegation that the FBI or any intelligence agency placed a spy in the Trump campaign.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Nothing particularly surprising, but again, it was classified.
A White House lawyer attended the meetings, a move Democrats called inappropriate. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said he wasn't there for the review of classified information. Dave.
Rachel, North Korea is calling President Trump's decision to cancel the meeting with Kim Jong-un unexpected, urging him to reconsider, wanting talks at any time. The president did leave the door open as he keeps demanding they give up nuclear weapons.
We are more ready than we have ever been before.
He canceled, citing tremendous anger and hostility in recent North Korean statements. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine ahead of the long holiday weekend, 69 degrees, but humidities will be on the rise later today. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 1 man is dead, another wounded following a drive-by shooting at a house party on Chicago's south side. Police say that a pair was standing outside of a residence near 68th and Morgan when someone inside of a passing vehicle opened fire. A 12-year-old boy is dead following an accident this week at a park in Munster, Indiana. Authorities say Chance Juergens died after the incident Wednesday night at Sunnyside Park. His cause of death and details are not being released. Right now, no foul play is suspected. Opponents of the planned police academy on Chicago's west side are trying to take legal action stop aldermen from voting on that proposal today. Members of the No Cop Academy group filed a suit to stop the city council vote. A Southern Illinois judge who went to Chicago for a temporary assignment ended up helping convict dozens of judges, attorneys, and police officers in one of the city's most famous corruption cases has died. Brockton Lockwood died Monday in Marion after a long fight with Parkinson's disease. He was 74. Lockwood, you may recall, filled in on the bench here in Chicago in the early 1980s, something judges did back then to help reduce a backlog of cases in Cook County. But in 1981, he alerted federal authorities to widespread corruption. He wore a wire in his boot and taped conversations for 3 years with corrupt judges, lawyers, court employees, and police officials. The investigation, known as Operation Greylord, led to the conviction of nearly 100. Chicago sports, Orioles beat the White Sox 9-3. White Sox begin a set next with the Tigers at Comerica Park. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game series this afternoon at Wrigley. Reggie Meyer tossed a 3-hitter in his first career complete game. Top seed Minnesota, the Golden Gophers beat the Fighting Illini in the Big Ten baseball tournament 3-0 late last night in Omaha. So the 4-seeded Illini now play Indiana in an elimination game tonight. The news, a service of Ace. It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace, and right now get 30% off gallons of top paint brands like Valspar, Clark, Kensington, and Royal. So hurry in to see your local Ace. Offer valid on gallons only through May 28th. See participating store for details. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity believes with strength comes peace.
We've got to learn from these moments in history. Ronald Reagan, referring to the former Soviet Union as an evil empire, was the right thing to do, and that he didn't have to fire a shot, and he was right. The media, unless you're bowing on your hand and knee to a dictator and kissing their ring, somehow they don't think it's possible to have peace.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streeter and get more tractor.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
7:07. Let's get an update on the pre-holiday roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the Tri-State Tollway northbound, we're seeing delays first from 95th to LaGrange Road, then from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. The Adams and Reagan Tollways are looking good. Northbound Veterans Memorial, a little heavy approaching the Reagan Tollway, and then from Findlay to St. Charles. Edens is 20 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy inbound delays start at Harlem, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 22 from Montrose, 20 in the Express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose, 30 to the airport. But Eisenhower delays start at North Avenue, 49 minutes, 390 to downtown, 32 from Manheim. Outbound 37 minutes, 390. Mount Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 48 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, busy 430. New delays to report on I-80 or in northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. It comes from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sunny to partly cloudy and very warm. Air quality will be unhealthy for sensitive groups throughout the day and night. High today, 88, and a low tonight of 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How many of these stories do you need to hear, such as the one in Oklahoma City that Mike Scott's been reporting on all morning, before you understand that law-abiding people protecting themselves is perhaps the best we can do in an imperfect world to keep ourselves, to keep our families, to keep our children safe at home, in places of business, and in schools. This Oklahoma City incident, man walks into Louis Grill and Bar, opens fire, striking 2 people, and then the guy who opened fire and injured those 2 people flees the scene. There's a bystander with a pistol, confronts the shooter, and fatally shoots him outside the restaurant. According to an Oklahoma City police captain, Bo Matthews, right now all I know is that it was just a good Samaritan that was there and looks like he took the right measures to be able to put an end to a terrible, terrible situation. You think a good guy with a gun versus a bad guy with a gun. The remedy for a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That's just, an NRA sloganeering. No, I mean, when you see it happen again and again in practice, maybe that should be instructive for our policymakers. And maybe you want to distinguish the good guy with the gun, the good Samaritan in Oklahoma City, for example.
Yeah. And the shooter was
from
the only
gangbangers.
Yeah, the shooter was the only person who died in the incident. His identity has not been released and his motive unknown. But a man told an Oklahoma TV station that his daughter and granddaughter, who were at the restaurant for a birthday party, were shot, and that they would like to personally thank the bystander who killed the shooter.
Mm-hmm. So good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. On the flip side, we've got new information. Emails about guns between one Rahm Emanuel and one Arnie Duncan indicate they're 2 bad guys trying to score political points off of dead children. A FOIA request produced this information, as reported by the Baltimore Post. Advisors to then President Barack Obama immediately strategized as to how to exploit the tragic shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School to push gun control. Tap people's emotions, said Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel to Arnie Duncan, then Education Secretary, 2 days after the massacre that left 26 children dead.
What is it? Rahm Emanuel always say, never let a crisis go to waste.
Yeah. Listen to this back and forth.
Oh, I can't wait.
Between, the dark Sith, Tiny Dancer, and the idiot toady rebounder, Arnie Duncan. What are your thoughts? Duncan asks Emanuel on an email with the subject line, CT shooting. Go for a vote this week ASAP before it fades, replied Emanuel. Tap people's emotion. Make it simple assault weapons. Yup, thanks, Duncan. Emanuel adds, when I did Brady Bill and assault weapons for Clinton, we always made it simple. Criminals or war weapons. Duncan inquires, gun show loophole, database, cop killer bullets, too complicated? Emanuel answers, cop killer maybe, the other no. Got it. You think this is about public safety?
This is about the children?
Yeah, well, exactly.
For the kids.
War weapons, right? This rhetoric they've been using, demagoguery they've been using, going for 25 years, going back to the Clinton era, as Rahm was reminiscing.
How do you get those emails?
FOIA request.
Oh.
Go for a vote this week before it fades. Tap people's emotions. Make it simple assault weapons. We're not trying to do public safety. We're trying to do gun banning. We're trying to exert more power over the individual in this country, or in this city, or in this state, since we're talking about Chicago's very own Tiny Dancer and Arnie Duncan. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. This is a report in the Daily Wire. We'll tweet it out so you can share it with your friends, and you should do so. You want to know what these people actually think of you? It's remarkable to me. We've said it before, but it just bears repeating, and this is about as good an example as I can remember in recent memory, maybe with the exception of Ronner's, Madigan's favorite Republican ads against Jeanne Ives. Do you understand how little they think of you? Do you understand how little the political ruling class cares about you? They feign interest or concern for your lives as needed to protect their perch. Full stop. So I know everybody wants to ascribe the best of motivations to their political leaders, which are, again, just your temporary representatives. They're not your betters. I know you want to ascribe good motivations, and people continue to do so in spite of all of the evidence that's presented as to how they actually feel about you, what they actually think of you, the utility, or how they treat you as sort of just another tool to utilize or not utilize to advance their particular interests for the kids, for our community, this great city, this great state, this great country. Are you about done falling for the pap that comes rolling out of the mouths and dripping from the fingers of these people? I mean, we're going into Memorial Day weekend where we honor our war dead, the people who didn't come back in service to liberty for others, people who actually were selfless. They gave their lives for the rights and freedoms, dreams and aspirations of people they didn't know. That is about 180 degrees from where the political class is in this city, this state, this country these days. I mean, just snap out of it and share this, a little exchange between that dipstick Duncan and, this, Tiny Dancer. I mean, Tiny Dancer is a craven, amoral powermonger. That's all he is. Share it. Doug and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning. You may want to check out, there's a book that was put together by a professional public relations firm at the expense of Mike Bloomberg, the Gotham Pimp, as I like to call him.
Not bad.
It's called Effective Gun Violence, or Gun Violence Control Through Effective Messaging. If you do a search for that, you'll find it. And it's basically a script as to exactly all the tactics that the left has used in the gun control discussion. They don't want to use gun control. They changed the term to gun violence messaging because they did polling and found gun control had too many visceral reactions.
Sure.
And sir, it's a beautiful piece, and I'm sure it cost a pretty penny. But you take a look at everything that's happened since Sandy Hook and onward, and no one's doubting the tragedies. But you take a look, and it's roughly, I believe it's about 8,000 good lawful gun uses for every criminal one, including homicides, suicides, armed robberies, and injuries. When you look at the actual available statistics, it's about 8,000 to 1. And they don't want their advice to the gun control people is don't get caught up in wonky statistics. Stay focused on emotions.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is part of a coordinated effort, and they've been following it just in lockstep.
Thanks for the call, Doug. Well, and look, I mean, they redefine all kinds of things. I mean, don't remember what taxes were? George Stephanopoulos, when he was a Clinton flack, or when he was a Clinton flack formally as opposed to informally on ABC now, taxes were contributions. Marriage redefinition as marriage equality. I mean, they redefine. Not only do they redefine terms, I mean, they redefine things right out of existence, like sex, male, female. They're Orwellian masters when it comes to the language, as long as they have, a sedate populace, I suppose. Carl in Arlington Heights.
Good morning, you two. That last caller hit it right on the head. And to the point of the exchange between Duncan and Emanuel, two leading Democrats nationwide, even in private, that's as substantive as they can possibly get on a debate as important as firearms. That's all they got. There is no substance. There is no thought. They're bereft of ideas, so all they can do is attack and emote. That's their case.
Thanks for the call, Carl. Tom in Deer Park.
The nature of the emails revealed is neither surprising or shocking. The other caller mentioned Michael Blomberg's dollars, and it's all part of an agenda where truth doesn't matter. And in on it are the Chicago Tribune, your competitor up the dial, and the Archdiocese of Chicago. And this is what they put out to the casual people that really might not understand what the issues are. It's pure sophistry.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, Harvey Weinstein's not the only one in trouble with the law. Rachel Dolezal. Did I assassinate her name correct? No, I did. Yeah, she's in some trouble herself. We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast today. Beautiful sunshine, but unhealthy air quality. Be careful if you have asthma or allergies. A high of 88 degrees tonight, a thunderstorm in spots. And then your weekend looks like this, 3-day weekend. Saturday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm, a high near 90. Sunday, mostly sunny, summer-like, a high of 92. And on Monday, it's going to be warm again, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, a high of 90 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Maybe for those heading to northwest Indiana or perhaps to points farther north in Wisconsin or west in Iowa, things look great right now heading out of the Chicago area. No issues to report on 80-94, the Indiana Toll Road or I-65. 94 looks great heading north to Wisconsin. Same goes for I-80, clear in both directions. 88 as well. Edens Expressway, light inbound. It's 19 minutes like Cook to Montrose. Outbound 23. The Kennedy now 40 minutes, so a hair to downtown. A little heavier in the express than the locals. Outbound 30 minutes downtown to the airport. Eisenhower, 46 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 36. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 41 minutes. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-States, though, 95th to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Memorial a bit tight, Findlay to St. Charles. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in beautiful southeast Wisconsin, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Well, now that same experience is available for young women. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy immerses young men and women in a culture of leadership that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and our military traditions. They've been shaping mine since 1884. I went for a visit, and I really, honestly, I did not want to leave. Those young men were so impressive. The campus was beautiful. It's on 110 acres.
Stop harassing young men.
No. They were very well behaved. It's for grades 7 to 12. There's boarding or day boarding, and again, it's going full co-ed. It's a place you can trust for your son or now daughter. And as a mom, I want to know that if I choose a military boarding school, that it would encompass the values I look for. Limited registration for that co-ed summer camp, and guess who's going? Peyton and Eli. Woo-hoo. They have 4 one-week sessions. Take a look at the camp online. You'll want to go yourself. I actually wanted to register, but they said I was too old.
You don't want to go. Peyton and Eli are going to be there.
Yeah, sjnma.org. They have paintball. They go through mud pits. They teach them how to be men. Get them off their computers, folks. Get them into summer camp, sjnma.org. Limited registration for that co-ed camp. Also, there's year-round school applications, so go online or call 1-800-SJ-CADET, 1-800-SJ-CADET.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication inflammation, and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Here in Indiana, the Trump tax cuts are already working. Hoosier businesses are hiring, raising wages, and giving employee bonuses. In Washington, Senator Joe Donnelly said this:
if they bring a good tax bill before me that helps middle-class families, count me in every time.
Listen to President Trump on Senator Donnelly.
Joe Donnelly voted no on tax cuts, and he voted no on canceling job-killing regulations, which may be even more important than those incredible tax cuts.
Donnelly voted no on tax reform, even though the average Indiana middle-class family will receive a tax cut of more than $2,000. It's time for Senator Donnelly to change course. Call Joe Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him the Trump tax cuts are working and to vote yes on S-2687 to make our tax reforms permanent. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, boy, sad story. I guess those Netflix royalties aren't cutting it for Rachel Dolezal. She's got this documentary on Netflix, The Rachel Divide. Rachel, her family, her critics reckon with the aftermath of the debate about her redefining her race from white to black. Yeah. So speaking of redefinitions, as we were talking about with the gun propaganda. By the way, let me correct myself. Rachel Dolezal has already also redefined Rachel Dolezal.
Oh, is she back to being
No, she's
white?
still black as far as I know, as far as she believes. Her new legal name, as of 2016, did you know this?
I didn't know she changed it.
Oh, yeah. Nkechi Diallo.
Common spelling?
Yeah.
Nkechi Diallo.
Yeah, I had some Nkechi Diallo with my scrambled eggs from Denny's this morning.
I planted that in my side yard.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice in the spring.
Yeah, it blooms very well.
She is accused of first-degree theft by welfare fraud, perjury in the second degree, and false verification for public assistance. She could face up to 15 years in prison.
She didn't.
According to court documents in Spokane, Diallo / Dolezal illegally received about $9,000 in food assistance, about $100 in child care assistance. The restitution is just under $9,000, as I mentioned.
She's got to pay it back, right? You said.
Well, yeah. The government in Washington State apparently would like her to do that. The investigation into the alleged theft started in March of last year when an investigator received information that the Dolezal had written a book that got published. He had heard she was getting public assistance, but also knew that typical publishing contract for a book would lead one to believe she was not entitled to public assistance. And, so that investigator looked into it and, according to the court documents, concluded that she was frauding the state and taxpayers. The state of Washington seeks prosecution and restitution in the matter, according to court documents. She also requests she be disqualified from receiving food assistance for at least 12 months for breaking a food assistance rule on purpose. Yeah, gee, that seems like a minimal charge, but the criminal prosecution, that could be heap big fun.
Wow.
I
wonder if she's talking to her parents again.
I wonder if she'll be invited back to be the Spokane NAACP chapter president.
Pulling for her. Not kidding. She should learn her lesson.
Yes, she is a disgraceful figure. There's
Yes,
no
she
question
is.
about it, and the disgrace just continues. And we'll get to this other story I wanted to get to, but the coward of Broward,
Oh, yeah.
more problems for him, too.
Ooh, that's coming up.
Not such that they would endanger his $8,000 a month pension, but other problems
Ooh,
for
he's
the
in a-
coward of Broward. We'll talk about that at 7:37.
And later, Chris Cuomo, you think he was dying of cancer or something. The send-off they gave him yesterday is spectacular. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 70 degrees. 7:31. Chicago police say this morning dozens of people suspected of participating in gang-related crimes have been arrested, part of anti-violence efforts ahead of the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Police in a statement this morning say they were joined by agents from the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms in precision raids that started late last night and continued into this morning. There have been more than 70 arrests. Disgraced Hollywood filmmaker Harvey Weinstein has surrendered to authorities at a lower Manhattan police precinct to face sex abuse charges. More than a dozen are hurt following an explosion at a suburban Toronto restaurant. Police say 3 men walked into the restaurant in suburban Mississauga and set off an IED. There are reports President Trump canceled his planned summit with Kim Jong-un because he was afraid that North Korea would scrub the talks first.
If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting.
Oklahoma City police say a man who opened fire at a restaurant in that city is dead. Spokesperson saying the shooter apparently just walked into Louis Bar and Grill in the northwest part of that city.
The only person that we know is deceased at right now is going to be the suspect. When the suspect exited the establishment, he was confronted by a citizen. The citizen had a weapon, took out his weapon, and shot the suspect.
One man is dead, another wounded following a drive-by shooting. It happened during a house party on Chicago's South Side overnight near 68th and Morgan. Opponents of the planned police academy on Chicago's West Side are taking legal action to try and stop aldermen from voting on that proposal today. Prosecutors in LaSalle County say 3 from the Chicago area drove to Streeter to steal from a home, but ended up killing a mother of 3 instead. LaSalle County State's Attorney's Office yesterday charged the trio with the Tuesday night killing of a mother of 3, Maria De La Torre. Police say she walked in during the robbery and was killed. Chicago sports, Orioles beat the White Sox 9-3. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game set this afternoon. NBA, Chris Paul 20. Rockets held on to beat the Warriors 98-94 in Game 5 of the West Finals in Houston. The news is a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates and 0 fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 7:34. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains why Israel doesn't want to leave the West Bank.
Why would Israel leave the West Bank when it already has a perfect example of exactly what would happen if they did leave? The Israelis completely left Gaza, and it turned into a base of terrorism, a place to shoot rockets at Israelis.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Who else wants to discover how to invest in cash-flowing apartments without dealing with a single tenant? Join us for a fast start, 2-hour free training event and discover a proven system created by a landscaper who went from mowing lawns to controlling over 8,000 units. You'll discover how to safely invest in apartments using little or none of your own money. How to create a monthly passive income stream that'll allow you to retire in as little as 3 to 5 years. RE Mentor, the experts in apartment investing education for over 15 years, will be in the Chicago area sharing this unique system. Be one of the first 30 callers now to get your seat at this class free. Call 800-505-8422. Investing in apartments requires little money down and low risk if trained properly. Learn the secrets from the experts at RE Mentor in just 2 hours. Call 800-505-8422. And be one of the first 30 callers at 800-505-8422. You have nothing to lose and a legacy to gain. So call 800-505-8422.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy Expressway inbound delay started Austin. It is 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 28 from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose, 30 to the airport. Eden's fine inbound. Outbound 10 minutes worth of delays between Montrose and Niles Center. The Eisenhower's 49 minutes, 390 to downtown, 32 from Manheim. Outbound 41 minutes to 390. Stevenson an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 41 minutes. Ryan 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-States, though, Balmoral to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 95th to LaGrange Road. The Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Now, the tollway is pretty light. Traffic service of Ace. It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace. Right now, get 30% off gallons of top paint brands like Valspar, Clark, Kensington, and Royal. So hurry into your local Ace. Offer valid on gallons only through May 28th. See participating stores for details. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and very warm. High near 88. Thunderstorms possible overnight. A low of 67. Currently 71. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chambers630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
One thing I learned today is Denny's is definitely not shy about their breakfast.
No.
I mean,
That's
if anybody's watching at home, the web here. I mean, this is like they delivered 10 pounds of food.
It's like a Grand Slam quality breakfast. That's a hearty breakfast at a reasonable price. That's Denny's.
That is not processed food. That is real food.
That's good stuff.
And I'm using it as a to-go doggy bowl for Bunky now. So thank you, Denny's.
Our friend Jason Hill from DePaul, philosophy professor, we just had him on. He's got a new book out, sort of an open letter from an immigrant to America. Very interesting guy. He's penned an op-ed for The Hill that was making the rounds yesterday. I saw him on Fox, too, being interviewed about it. Mr. President, please send the troops to Chicago. President Trump, during your presidential campaign, you made a promise to send federal troops to drain the swamp in D.C., and also one festering with feral thugs and gangbangers who are committing genocide among black Americans right here in the great city of Chicago. I implore you, writes Jason Hill, to use your powers to suspend the dated Posse Comitatus Act, which I've often raised as an issue when we've discussed this, so he addresses it. Suspend the dated Posse Comitatus Act, which unfairly limits your ability to use domestic militarization to respond to crises, and send the resources necessary to stem the violence overrunning Chicago. What do you think? Should President Trump intervene where the civilian political authorities in Chicago and Illinois have failed? Suspend Posse Comitatus, which is federal law.
Okay.
But it's just a federal law.
Posse Comitatus is not a dance move?
It is also a dance move.
Like a kickball change to Posse Comitata?
Yeah.
I guess I heard that on Dancing with the Stars.
It was popular on Soul Train in like the early 80s.
So I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with Posse Comitata, which is a federal law. Which
I'm not familiar with Posse Comitata either, because we were talking about Posse Comitatus. But so I don't know what that other thing is.
I'm sorry.
But it's essentially using federal troops for domestic policing, a prohibition against that.
Right.
So
there's also been talk. We've had this conversation several times about, sending out the National Guard to the South Side, to Inglewood, to Chatham, to South Shore.
Well, right.
To Austin neighborhood.
There's, ostensibly Governor Rauner could take that under advisement. But is this something where President Trump should intervene, where nobody has in Chicago and in Illinois for generations to quell the violence, as Jason Hill suggests? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We've had politicians suggest UN peacekeeping forces.
Oh, that's right.
And also idiotic. The idea of foreign armies on our soil, I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
But federal troops, scramble the men and women up at Great Lakes Naval Station and have them come down to help out. Let's, setting aside the legalistic arguments for a moment, is this a good idea just in terms of doing what is necessary to establish some sort of détente on the west and south sides of Chicago, where you have hundreds of people being murdered every year, 3/4 to 4/5 of whom are black, 95% of whom are minorities, black and Latino, and thousands more shot, so seriously injured, maimed in some cases, every single year. And, of course, as the summer sets in, you can guarantee we're going to see a spike in the carnage in Chicago.
This weekend's going to be bad. We have a string of 3 days where it's just sunshine and warm weather.
And
they're going to shut off the lakefront, too, because there's going to be gangbangers in there, and then they don't let us drive our cars in to protect us from gangbangers.
And consider what the civilian political authorities are doing against the backdrop of Jason Hill's proposal. Jeff Landry, the Attorney General for the state of Louisiana, writes an op-ed in the Daily Caller. Chicago is holding American law enforcement hostage.
What?
Yeah.
In what way? What does that mean?
With respect to immigration.
Oh.
Jeff Sessions, Justice, Homeland Security, wants local state law enforcement to notify DHS of the scheduled release dates of criminal aliens wanted by DHS and to allow federal immigration officers on their premises in order to inquire about an individual's rights to remain. These are common sense public safety measures, writes Landry. In 2016, the DOJ IG released a memorandum noting that many jurisdictions receiving federal grant dollars were in violation of the law by withholding immigration information from federal officials. And certainly, Wine Club buddies Ronner and Tiny Dancer have contributed to this. Shortly thereafter, the Department of Justice mandated a particular condition that jurisdictions offer proof they were in compliance with federal law regarding information sharing. And again, the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, and the city of Chicago have received letters from the Department of Justice to this effect. We've seen them. We reported on them. Jeannie Ives talked about the letter that Bruce Rauner received during the primary campaign that is consistent with what Attorney General Landry is describing. And then he goes on to say, General Sessions simply sustained that policy by including narrowly tailored conditions to ensure grant dollars are not given to state and local jurisdictions which frustrate federal immigration enforcement. However, the city of Chicago took their prioritization of protecting illegal immigrants over stopping crime to the courtroom. Chicago sued DOJ, and the Liberal District Court and Seventh Circuit decided that Attorney General Sessions lacked the authority to impose these two conditions. While their disrespect for the Constitution was egregious enough, their further abuse of the judicial process is causing even more widespread harm. The nationwide injunction issued by federal courts means that hundreds of millions of grant dollars are being withheld from law enforcement agencies which comply willingly with immigration laws. Because of its nationwide scope, the injunction purports to settle the law for the entire U.S., and this aggrandizement of power deprives other courts the opportunity to decide the issue for themselves, thereby frustrating the development of law. The nationwide injunction is negatively impacting law enforcement agencies that are not antagonistic toward federal immigration officials and federal immigration law enforcement the way Chicago and Illinois is. That's how Chicago is holding American law enforcement hostage. So while you have the carnage on the west and south side of Chicago, and by the way, increasingly, the violent crime, of course, not limited to the west and south sides.
No, there's crime everywhere.
Right.
I mean, look down the Magnificent Mile. Look down in your neighborhood, in my neighborhood. It's everywhere.
So,
we had a Blaine student who was mugged on the way to school.
Well, I mean, that carjacking on Mag Mile a couple weeks back.
Yeah. And they're getting the nail salon. I mean, there's in Roscoe Village, broad daylight at 11 a.m., they'll storm that place, take all the ladies' purses, their cell phones, and the cash from the register and walk out the door with guns. They pointed a gun to my friend's head. And they haven't been caught yet.
Auto theft in the suburbs, the spike in carjacking in the suburbs, people coming from the city, wilding incidents, some of which are reported, many of which, if you talk to Chicago police, are not reported. It's worse than what is actually reported. And so against that, you have what? Rahm Emanuel and the political class, Republican and Democrat, in this sorry state. Frustrating federal law enforcement. That's how they're engaging with the federal government. So maybe you can understand why Jason Hill is suggesting, even though I'm reticent to embrace the suggestion, but you can understand why he and others previously have suggested, hey, President Trump, we're not going to get the help we need from local and state. We have local and state government that is not abiding their first responsibility to provide for the physical security of their constituents. So maybe you at the federal level can, bring in the cavalry until we get, if ever, elected officials in this state who are serious about keeping people safe. I mean, that's the argument. And against the backdrop of what they're actually doing at the Chicago and county and the Cook County and state of Illinois level, it's a pragmatic suggestion. I'll say that. Carmina in South Shore, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think that's probably the dumbest thing I've heard in a while.
Which part?
So is the military supposed to be in those neighborhoods every day of the week, up close to about 6 months of the year? It's so outlandish and just it's not even rational. How about tightening the laws in Wisconsin and Indiana, this is empirical evidence, where the guns are being traced to.
Uh-huh.
You tightening the laws in those nearby states, which is where they get the guns.
Yeah.
You put more police on the street,
Uh-huh.
right? So as a South Side person, yeah, do I want to just sit on my porch and not have a gun come in my home? Or, I would like to hear children jumping rope and skipping on the sidewalk instead of seeing them basically encased in their home because of the violence. Of course, we want tighter gun laws. We want those who are criminals to be incarcerated and punished like anybody else. But to suggest to have the military in certain neighborhoods is to me is akin to saying put the military in rural areas where we know where school shootings usually happen. Where you have a particular population where school shootings happen, put the military in those rural areas. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so I'm not necessarily embracing the military idea, but let's explore what the reality on the ground you're describing, shall we?
Sure.
Sure. So let's just say that what you describe as the problem is the problem. It's not, but let's just say that it is. So you think it's more practical for what to happen? For Rahm and Ronner and whoever else from Chicago to go tell Wisconsin and Indiana what their gun laws are going to be? You think that's going to happen? That's my first question. My second question is you've had more cops on the street, right? More cops on the street with a city that's functionally bankrupt, run by one party for the last 100 years. You've had Rahm Emanuel and his 50 trained SEALs on the city council there for going on 2 terms now, and we talked to Kevin Graham, the FOP president, yesterday. There's 11,000 cops right now. He says what we actually need is about almost 25% more like 14,000. You think that's going to happen? You think we have the money for that? So do you see a problem with the civilian political leadership in Chicago and in the state of Illinois at all, or do you just kind of want to outsource our problems to Wisconsin and Indiana?
Well, I don't think it is such a mutually exclusive. The answer is what you want me to give you, which is hyperbole. What I'm telling you,
just answer my question. I don't care what your answer is. Answer my question. I don't care what your answer is.
You don't even live on the South Side. So I'm trying to teach you what's happening. The guns are being traced in other states.
Can you answer my question? Can you answer my question about the civilian political leadership in this city and state?
Sucks.
Thank you.
Sucks here in Illinois.
Thank you. That's my point. Thank you. And what does Carmina and the Southside folks do? We need more gun control. We need more redundant laws. We need to kind of triple down. Yes, everybody here sucks, and I'm going to continue voting for them. Everybody here sucks. I'm going to continue voting for them. You can't tell me what's going on in my neighborhood because I live here and you don't. Oh, okay, well then if you live there and I don't, then you fix it. You're right. I don't live on the South Side. Is that the attitude? You fix it then. You don't need any help. You got it. Everybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert at what's wrong, and then they continue to pursue the same policies and with the same people. Okay. I can read statistics. I can read news reports. I know how many murders and shootings occur because of the data collection in all the South Side neighborhoods. I know what's happening to home values on the South Side. Property taxes in part, lack of safety, terrible schools. And what do we get? Wisconsin and Indiana have less restrictive gun laws than Illinois, so that's the problem. Okay. Deborah in Arlington Heights.
Yes, we're at war, and you treat it like a war. Whatever it takes. If it takes the military, tanks, scare the sagging pants off these gangbangers and thugs, because you need to tell them that you mean business, and it's better to keep the innocent people safe no matter what it takes. That's the way I look at it. I don't care where you live.
Thanks for the call, Deborah. Robert in Milwaukee.
Hi. I was only going to make one point, and the point was about feral children. You could have all the federal troops you want. They aren't going to be that familiar with the areas anyways. But the problem is constantly rewarding bad behavior. You just cannot have these men that father children and just continue to move on without repercussions. as far as I'm the father of two. They're grown. They're college educated. Same woman. And as far as I am concerned, if you're going to father a child, you're not going to provide for the child. Well, golly, you're getting a free vasectomy courtesy of the state.
Maybe they should do that to the 30-year-old who won't leave his parents' house.
No forced sterilizations, but, it is
This took a nice turn.
It is commencement season.
Members of the graduating class, I have only one thing to say to you today. It's a jungle out there. You got to look out for number one, but don't step at number two. And so, to all you graduates, as you go out into the world, my advice to you is, don't go. It's rough out there. Move back with your parents. Let them worry about it.
There you go. Robert in Oak Brook. Hey, Robert. Robert in Oak Brook. Robert in Oak Brook going once.
Going twice.
And Robert in Oak Brook is gone. Sold!
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and you know I love resting my head each night on a MyPillow. It's the only way I get proper rest and deal with Dan every morning. For the rest of your body, get the MyPillow mattress topper. It keeps your entire body comfy, cozy, and relaxed. The MyPillow mattress topper is 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight and helps relieve pressure points, plus keeps your body temperature regulated all night long. No more too hot or too cold. You'll get the same 10-year warranty you get with the MyPillow, plus the 60-day money-back guarantee, and it's made in America. Best of all, with the promo code Amy, you'll get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, plus 2 free standard pillows. No kidding, 2 standard MyPillows for free. Go online or call now and don't miss out. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. No one sets the bar unrealistically high for the woman who gave us, "We have to pass the bill for you to find out what's in it," the unintentionally definitive statement on both Obamacare and the legislative process. This is the same woman who compared persons who chose to come to America illegally to Japanese Americans who were involuntarily imprisoned during World War II. Nancy Pelosi's talent for turning moral indignation into a punchline is as boundless as her bigot baiting. So I couldn't feign surprise when I learned Pelosi has a big heart for those with a predilection for cutting out the hearts of others, such as her unyielding allegiance to the catechism that Pelosi sees the spark of divinity where the non-believer can see only a muzzle flash. To label as animals professional murderers who hack people to death with machetes, enslave women in the sex trade, and worship Satan is to rob them of their humanity, per Pelosi. As a visionary, Pelosi understands that those MS-13 rapscallions are but a $15 minimum wage and a free ride to Swarthmore away from one day joining her caucus. Nancy Pelosi has a big heart indeed. But do you want it 2 beats away from the presidency?
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7 along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Your local 1 hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560. The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Time's up for Harvey Weinstein. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The former Hollywood producer surrendered to police in New York City this morning, facing 6 charges, including rape and sexual abuse involving 2 women. The first criminal case against Weinstein amid dozens of accusations. He was just taken away in handcuffs to court.
He will post bail. It's an already agreed upon amount of $1 million, at which point he will be released. But he is not totally free, of course. He will be wearing a monitoring device to track his whereabouts. He has to surrender his passport.
That's Robert Moses with Fox 5 TV in New York. There's a manhunt in Canada for 2 men who bombed a restaurant. Fox's Jeff Manasso following this live.
Dave, an improvised explosive device ripped through the Bombay Bell Indian restaurant in Mississauga in suburban Toronto around 10:30 last night, injuring 15, 3 critically. A manhunt now underway.
2 men wearing hoodies were seen entering the restaurant with an IED. The men were seen fleeing the scene immediately following the explosion.
Police Chief Jennifer Evans says the investigation into the motive continues. This just a month after the Toronto van attack that killed 10 people and injured 14. Dave.
And Jeff, North Korea is urging President Trump to reconsider the day after he canceled the meeting with Kim Jong-un. A North Korean official also praised the president for making the bold decision to even consider such talks, and the president just tweeted it was a warm and productive statement. We will soon see where it will lead as he keeps pushing for North Korean denuclearization. The president also said Democrats are rooting against us after House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said Kim was the big winner.
And when he got this letter from the president saying, okay, never mind, he must be having a giggle fit.
Now, the president also fired off tweets continuing to claim his campaign was spied on. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, who was at both classified meetings with the FBI and lawmakers yesterday, says no.
Nothing we heard today has changed our view.
Schiff claims there was no spy. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine in Chicago. We have 71 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago police say dozens suspected of participating in gang-related crimes have been arrested as part of the anti-violence effort ahead of the Memorial holiday weekend. Police say in a statement officers were joined by agents of the FBI and BATF in precision raids that started Thursday and continued into this morning. Surprisingly, officers also raided a child daycare facility suspected as being used as a stash house for guns. 4 guns and ammunition were seized there. No children were at the facility at the time. 1 man is dead, another wounded following a drive-by shooting at a house party on Chicago's South Side. Police say the pair were standing outside of a home near 68th and Morgan. Opponents of a planned police academy on Chicago's West Side are taking legal action to try and stop aldermen from voting on that proposal today. Members of the No Cop Academy filed suit to stop the city council vote, claiming the city council's budget committee violated the Open Meetings Act. The unemployment rate is down in all of Illinois' metro areas for the second month in a row. The Department of Employment Security spokesman Bob Goff says a drop in unemployment in all 14 metropolitan areas compared with a year ago shows continued improvement in the Illinois economy. Orioles beat the White Sox 9-3. Cubs and Giants open a 3-game set this afternoon at Wrigley. Big Ten Tournament Baseball. Top seed Minnesota beat the Fighting Illini 3-0 late last night. The number 4 seed Illinois will take on Indiana in an elimination game tonight. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, more people were buying from Foot Locker in the recent quarter. Its earnings and sales were stronger than expected. McDonald's shareholders did not approve a proposal to replace plastic straws. The company urged shareholders to reject the plan, saying it's already making major moves to cut waste and recycle, and it wants to work on its own solution for the plastic straw issue. You'll be seeing lots of deals this Memorial Day weekend. Money-ish says some of the discounts have already started. Mattresses, small appliances, and spring clothes have been deeply discounted. You might not save as much on grills and summer clothes. Nerd Wallet says Target and Walmart have discounted some things by at least 30%. The Dow was down 75 yesterday. The Nasdaq dropped a point. The S&P lost 5. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder just wants his politicians to tell the truth.
Well, given the fact that only Palestinians are being killed, shouldn't Israel be blamed for this?
Oh, well, as I said earlier, we believe Hamas bears the responsibility. Look, this is a propaganda attempt.
Isn't it refreshing to hear an official from the administration who says the obvious thing? Israel defended itself. You don't attack, Israel doesn't respond. It's not complicated.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
You know the expression out of sight, out of mind? Well, that pretty much describes the roof on your house. Sure, you can see it from the ground and things may look okay, but you probably don't really know what's going on up there. After the long winter, this is a great time to have your roof professionally inspected by New Life Property Restoration. They'll let you know the condition of your roof and how long you can expect it to last. Here's the best part. This is a complimentary evaluation, valued at $250. And for every inspection estimate New Life Property Restoration performs this year, a donation will be made to the Roof for a Vet project to help vets with homes in need of roof repair. With so many choices in the roofing industry, who can you trust? Consider a family and veteran-owned company that's willing to invest in you before they ask you to invest in them with a free inspection of your roof. Consider New Life Property Restoration and their 20-point inspection. Find them at newlifepropertyrestorations.com or 224-220-1444.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
8:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, and here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, traffic is stop and go from Lawrence to Fullerton. Northbound, the exit to Fullerton is closed after a vehicle fire. The South Loop area, northbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy from the Stevenson, Jackson. Tri-State Tollway southbound stop and go Balmoral to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound it's heavy, 75th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial it's slow, and pockets between 63rd and Roosevelt. The Edens is clear inbound. Outbound it's 24 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. On Kennedy, delays start at Irving Park. 52 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 42 from Montrose, 44 in the Express. Outbound 32 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Eisenhower 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. 32 from Manheim. Outbound 35 minutes to 390. Stevenson an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 38 minutes, 95th in downtown. I-57 is fine. Bishop Ford heavy, 43 minutes, 80-94 to merge. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sun and some clouds today with a high 88, partly cloudy and more humid tonight with a shower or a thunderstorm in spots with a low of 67. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a shower or thunderstorm around during the day, very warm and humid with a high 89. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Sunshine and 71. Next news at 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy and President Trump. I know focus of yesterday was, of course, on the cancellation of the summit with Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, with the possibility that...
with the tiny hands, right?
Yeah, with the possibility that they could still convene at a later date. But this other news, the world of sports, but also justice, Trump issued a full pardon posthumously to boxing great Jack Johnson, who's the first black heavyweight champion in the world, the first part of the 20th century. He was arguably, and I think persuasively, wrongly prosecuted under a racist law back in 1913, the Mann Act, for taking his white girlfriend across state lines for quote-unquote immoral purposes. Had to spend a year.
That was a bit of a stretch, but he spent a year in jail, and that ruined his career.
Yeah, that's right.
I watched some of his, like black and white film yesterday. They were showing of his boxing matches. Yeah. He was good.
1910 fight of the century.
Wow.
So that's not bad for racist Hitler to.
Well, President Trump was confronted by Sylvester Stallone and asked, he told him about his story. And then President Trump tweeted about it a few months ago, and it actually came to fruition yesterday. They had Lennox Lewis was there.
Yes.
A bunch of greats were there.
I mean, I know you want to give Rocky Balboa credit, but I mean, still, ultimately, it was his pen.
No, I know.
And so, hey.
Why didn't Obama do it? First African-American president, he should have pardoned Mr. Johnson.
A stroke for racial justice, however late, by racist Hitler. I mean, it's just worth noting, I suppose. In other sports news, have you seen the new Northwestern facility?
For just the athletes or for the students or for everybody?
Well, it's really athletic facility, but there's some...
Well, I know they're working on a new basketball arena.
This is the Ryan Fieldhouse and Walter Athletic Center.
Oh.
It's right on...
I bet it's gorgeous.
It's right on Lake Michigan. I can't... $270 million.
Wow.
$270 million. The facility...
Can you go in?
It was described by one Yahoo sports writer as like the Jetsons dropped on the shores of Lake Michigan. 45-foot floor-to-ceiling windows.
Ooh.
That run the expanse of the entire practice field overlooking the lake. One recruit's father called it the infinity pool of indoors because you've got like this panoramic view.
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure it is an infinity pool.
Just by comparison, Clemson, which wins national championships, they have a huge training facility as well with a slide, mini golf course, bowling lanes. That cost $200 million less than Northwestern's. Oregon, which is considered the gold standard, cost $86 million.
And ours cost $270?
$250 million. And it's still $65,000 to go there.
Well, that's why.
Let me just say this one more time, and I have the standing as an alumnus.
Yes.
Do not send your kids to Northwestern or your athletes.
Wow, that's mean. Go to the University of Iowa.
No.
The Harvard of the Midwest.
No, I didn't say don't get an education. I just said don't go to Northwestern. Here, did you see this picture that Kristen McQuarrie from the Tribune tweeted? You think the exodus from Illinois is not happening? A mom in the suburbs plotted on a map where all of her son's classmates are going to college. Look at this.
Not one is in Illinois.
They're all in Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, and then the rest of the country. Telling you. All right, since I wanted to get a little sports in, because we're going to talk the intersection of sports and, and heady notions like free speech with our next guest, David French, who is writer at National Review, of course, constitutional lawyer, author, and veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. His latest piece is Conservatives Fail the NFL Speech Test. David French, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
So conservatives failed this free speech test. There was at least some celebration in some quarters that we're not going to see the spectacles on the sidelines of millionaires kneeling before the flag and during the anthem. And but you suggest that conservatives who want to enforce respect for the flag and the anthem are making mistakes.
Wrong.
Yes.
Yes. And to be clear, I don't support kneeling. I don't think they should do it. The issue here is we live in a nation where people are using the power that they have to try to stifle speech they don't like. And a lot of times most of the time conservatives are on the receiving end of that. So think about things like forcing out Brendan Eich from Mozilla or forcing out James Damore from Google, or all the nonsense we see on college campuses from coast to coast. And even when it's not the government, because Google and Yale and Claremont McKenna College and others are not the government, we say, come on, let's have a little room for free speech. You don't have to force everyone to toe the party line. And if you do that, you're destroying the culture of free speech. And oh, by the way, get up off your knee, kneeling football player, or we'll fire you. And that is a fundamental hypocrisy. And it's a hypocrisy, I think, that actually even exacerbates the problem, because before Donald Trump made it an issue when he was in a rally last year and said the players should be fired, there were 6 players who were kneeling at the start of the game. 6. It was kind of petering out after Colin Kaepernick had got it started. And then after he said that, it was more than 200. And so what ends up happening is you not only expose that your view is essentially, well, free speech for me and the people I like, but not for the people I don't like. It also exacerbates the problem, because then you start to challenge these NFL players. You're challenging their courage. You're challenging their manhood. You're saying, do what I say. And that causes an awful lot of people to rebel against that notion. And so you're not only, failing to consistently defend free speech, you're exacerbating the problem.
Well, it sounds like you're blaming President Trump for the spread of this.
Oh, yes. I mean, it really was. It was a protest that was on its last legs. When you're down to 6 players, and you saw that over the course of the season too. He made his challenge to fire the players, and it was 200 and some odd who knelt the next week. And so long as Trump puts it front and center, players kneel. When it goes off of the radar screen, well, you have a few committed activists out there who might, and they might do it for a little while. But it's just not something that's dominant on the national scene. It's not something that's dominant in your football experience. It's a very minor, small-scale protest until the president puts it front and center, and that takes it all to 11 once again.
Well, then, but following the logic of your argument, he's not exacerbating anything. He's unearthing the problem. He's bringing more of what is sort of hiding in the shadows out into the sunlight. I mean, I agree with you, generally speaking, but I don't think it's exacerbating it. I think it's fantastic. I want people to show me who they are. I want the NFL to be beset. The cowards in the owners' boxes and Roger Goodell and all of the squirmy little people in NFL front offices. I want them to be beset by all of this. I want to know where they stand. And this forces people to take positions. It forces lines to be drawn. I love it.
I hate it.
Why? But why?
I think it's incredibly divisive. What he's doing is he's saying to Americans, and did you hear what he said yesterday?
Yeah, if you don't stand up, get out of the country.
Well, I don't agree with that, obviously. No, right.
Well, okay. Well, you
but
got to
that's
draw.
true.
Well, you got
Yeah,
to
but-
draw your own line here, don't you? You got to draw your own line.
Yeah,
You
but
don't love that.
but that's just his bloviation. He's not going to deport the left tackle for the Baltimore
Well, but,
Ravens.
You can't tell me that if a Democratic president had said something about like that Fox would be outraged about it for 3 straight weeks.
Well, no, I agree. Look, it's a dumb statement.
He said it before,
but
though.
but I mean, right? But I mean, Colin Kaepernick is not going to be sent to Gitmo. Okay, I mean,
Well,
so
he
let's
should go to the Canadian Football League.
I'm just saying. But I mean, David, the thing is, you want sort of these differences that are real to sort of be papered over, and I think it's better that we have this confrontation.
Well, I don't know what's real. What difference is real that you're talking about? I think what you're dealing with, if you know some of these people who are involved in some of these protests, some of these folks that are being vilified so extremely, I think they're misguided. But a lot of them are actually really good people who are making a mistake in good faith, and then to have the President of the United States say, you shouldn't have a job, and if you're not fired, and if these owners don't fire you, then the league should be out of business. I think that's absurd. It's especially absurd when you're talking about the president talking about compelled patriotism, given that one of the core constitutional values in our country stands opposed to compelled patriotic displays. It's one of the foundational constitutional values, one of the foundational constitutional decisions in the country. Now, the president's not trying to enforce it,
right?
Thankfully,
that's right.
But what he's doing the fundamental core of what the president of the United States is doing, is opposed to these basic American constitutional values. And I don't think it's really even all that defensible for him to do this.
Well,
I think it's repugnant.
Well, okay, but I think there's a little bit of a battle for the culture here, and these athletes have big platforms, and we're supposed to. I mean, it's not we're supposed to, but what happens is people heap adulation on them and give their opinions on things like police power or a range of other issues more import than they're warranted on the merits because they're a great football player, basketball player, baseball player, whatever. And I like Michael Bennett being exposed as a charlatan, the Seattle Seahawks defensive end who made up a story about the police in Vegas and otherwise has been an outspoken antagonist of the police, of the president, of the country, kind of one step down from Colin Kaepernick. I like these people being exposed for the frauds they are, and the only way that you do that is you sort of foment a difference. You foment a discussion about who believes what about this particular issue, say police, since this is part of what started all of these protests.
The reason Michael Bennett was exposed is because there was a videotape of an actual incident that he participated in. He'd been exposed whether he knelt or not. I mean, the thing is, and speaking of the outsized power of celebrity and why people have a platform, good Lord, that's why Donald Trump's president of the United States.
Yeah, okay.
He's a celebrity in chief who millions of people knew because he was a reality TV star and real estate huckster. So, it's really rich to me to see this guy trying to define patriotism when his own view of service in wartime was his fear of STDs was his personal Vietnam. I can't think of a less suitable individual to articulate patriotism. Show some service to your country in the prime of your youth, dude, before you're telling who should get out of the country.
Well,
he's serving the country now.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say he's the an unusual carrier of all kinds of policies and all kinds of fights that conservatives have been waging for a long time, whether it's fiscal policies or cultural matters, social mores. You're right. He's certainly an imperfect vessel for many of these issues. But that doesn't. But you're obsessing about Donald Trump. I'm more interested in the cultural fight and exposing the faults between the sides. That's my point. So that you force people to decide on which side of the skirmish line they stand.
Do we lack for that? I mean, do really? I mean, seriously, do we lack for exposing differences in the sides in our culture? That's what we have in abundance. We have exposing differences in sides constantly. That's the news 24/7. What we lack is actually unity. What we lack is some sort of place that's not being seriously politicized.
So what should we what should we unify around?
The problem I have is conservatives are now saying what we've said for years and years and years is, does everything have to be politicized to the point where people are going to be fired if they express their point of view? And then now I guess apparently the answer is yeah, it's got to all be politicized. And whenever we control an institution, we'll fire people that do things we don't like. And when the other side controls an institution, they'll fire people who do things that they don't like. And so I don't think we lack for divisions in this country.
Well, actually, the difference in this case is you don't have anybody in the NFL being fired. You may not even have them being fined. I mean, you've got the owner of the Jets saying, "I'll pay fines for anybody who wants to kneel on the sidelines." Okay, fine. This is a private enterprise, private league, private action. Compare that to Brendan Eich or James Damore. So the left seems a little bit more dug in when it comes to enforcing an orthodoxy of opinion than even do conservatives who are roiled by people kneeling for the anthem. But I guess my larger question is, though, when you talk about, looking for places of unity with cultural Marxists and avowed socialists, what does that look like? What kind of unity should conservatives be trying to forge?
Well, one of the things is you see, for example, before the president put this issue front and center on the national stage again, the actual national anthem moment, even in the NFL, where kneeling had started, was 99-point-something% of your players are standing. And one of the things that, one of the interesting contrasts here, a lot of people have talked about the difference. The NBA has a rule against kneeling,
right?
And on the books, although it's pretty well known within the NBA that that's not something that would be enforced if players chose to do so. But one of the differences is a lot of people don't realize the long-standing grievances between the players and the owners in pro football that are very different than what exists in other professional sports. And I think what's happened is a lot of people sort of parachuted into the NFL debate, not realizing the extent to which this conflict between owners and players is based on a lot of other things. And so I think one of the things that you do is you just kind of let it play out, just let it chill out. One of the things that builds unity in this country is when you protect the rights of others that you would like to exercise yourself. And, I think everyone could sort of stand to relax a little bit about other people's dissent and maybe even bond with them over protecting their rights to dissent. And I think that that's an important element of American unity, because American unity has always been built around liberty, not around agreement. And that's a very key part of the American idea. Build your unity around liberty. And I would say that that's a good start in a very divided country.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just am more spoiling for the fight than you are. That's all right.
Well, I'll fight you over liberty.
David French.
David
French, writer at National Review, constitutional lawyer, best-selling author, and a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom, served our country. His latest piece, you want to check out more of the details at nationalreview.com. Conservatives fail the NFL's free speech test. David, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
You know your old windows are costing a pretty penny in energy costs, and they don't look that great either. But finding the right company for doors and windows is confusing. Options, choices, pushy salespeople. Seems everyone wants to sell and install doors and windows. But you want someone who specializes, not a jack of all trades. The specialty at Next Door & Window is doors and windows. It's right in their name. You want only the best in quality and looks. Next Door & Window delivers with the largest selection of wood-clad vinyl and fiberglass products and custom stains and paints for a look and match that no one else can offer. Right now, get 33% off installation when you schedule a free quote by June 30th. Next Door & Window has showrooms in Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Online at nextdoorandwindow.com. But you want to call now to schedule your free quote. Hurry and do it before June 30th. Call 630-590-1370. That's 630-590-1370.
Next Door and Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Now that same experience is available for your daughter. With summer vacation right around the corner, now is a great time to register your son or daughter for summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful region of southeast Wisconsin. It's a time to refocus from the distractions of life and explore the potentials in many areas of life. There's Camp St. John's Northwestern with 4 one-week sessions of outdoor activities for 10 to 16-year-olds and summer school for 5 weeks to recover credits or get ahead for full credit. Limited registration for co-ed summer camp is happening now, as well as the year-round school application process. Hurry, space is limited. For more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Will more spies be revealed in Spygate? We're going to talk to former Trump campaign advisor and Republican political strategist Michael Caputo, who's been making news this week at 8:38.
And later, Chris Cuomo's cries on CNN. We'll tell you why. Oh, my goodness. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
72 degrees. At 8:31, disgraced Hollywood filmmaker Harvey Weinstein is headed to court and then headed back out of court after quickly being charged with 4 counts of sex crimes, including rape. He surrendered to police in Manhattan early this morning and has already been booked. Crowds watched a short time ago as he was led out of the precinct in handcuffs. Voting is underway in Ireland to legalize abortion. Voters taking part in the historic referendum will decide whether to repeal the 8th Amendment, protecting life in Ireland's constitution. It restricts abortion unless the mother's life is in critical danger. Marine Corps helicopters are ready to lift people out of a community on Hawaii's Big Island. Authorities are concerned that they'll need to evacuate people by air if molten rock or huge cracks in the ground block the last escape route out of Pahala. Third flow of lava from the erupting Kilauea volcano started streaming into the ocean yesterday. President Trump is leaving the door open for North Korea after pulling out of his June 12th summit with Kim Jong-un. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham on the Today Show.
But it's going to end one way or the other. That's all you need to understand. If military action is required, they're going to lose. It will be devastating to the region. If there's a war, it's going to be in China's backyard.
The president says the dialogue with North Korea was good until recent hours. More than a dozen are hurt after an explosion inside of a restaurant near Toronto. 3 men set off an improvised explosive device inside of an Indian restaurant in suburban Mississauga last night. Oklahoma City police say the shooter is dead after opening fire at a restaurant near or in Oklahoma City yesterday.
The biggest thing is, thankfully, the only person that is deceased is a person that went to harm other citizens, and looks like our other citizens are going to survive at this point.
Spokesperson says 2 suffered gunshot wounds. A third person fell and broke his arm. Chicago police say dozens of people suspected of participating in gang-related crimes have been arrested as part of anti-violence efforts ahead of the Memorial Day holiday weekend. A 12-year-old boy is dead following an accident this week at a park in Munster. Authorities in Indiana say Chance Jurgens died after the accident Wednesday night at Sunnyside Park. No one hurt after a freight train derails in Aurora, but it's causing delays this morning, especially for Amtrak along the BNSF route, and Aurora Animal Care and Control and another nearby business have been evacuated as a result. Orioles beat the White Sox 9-3. Cubs and Giants open up a 3-game set this afternoon at Wrigley. The news is a service of Ace. It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace, the best time to buy a grill. Right now, get free assembly, free delivery, and free fuel on top of grill brands. $3.99 and up for Ace Rewards members only through May 28th. See participating stores for details. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-566-7906 now for your free reputation analysis. Our dedicated experts and patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-566-7906 to learn more or visit ReputationDefender.com.
8:37 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Mike, the Edens is delay-free right now. Kennedy inbound, heavy Pulaski to the Bird Circle, 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 32 from Montrose, 26 to the Express. Outbound 10 minutes to Montrose, 27 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower runs 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 30 from Manheim. Outbound 33 minutes to 390. Stevenson 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 is fine. Bishop Ford cleared up quickly. It's good as well. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, stop and go Irving Park to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State a bit tight, Lawrence to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Plainfield Road to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The other tollways are fine, no problems to report on I-80 or in Northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sunny and warm today. Could be a little bit on the unhealthy side from an air quality standpoint for some groups in the afternoon as humidity begins to rise. High of 88 and a low of 67 with a thunderstorm in spots tomorrow. 72 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Harry Truman said, nothing new in this world, just the history you don't know. Interesting piece in the Wall Street Journal by Lee Edwards, who is a fellow at the Heritage Foundation now. He was the director of information for Barry Goldwater's 1964 presidential campaign, and he recounts in this piece in the Journal how LBJ used the machinery of the state, FBI, CIA, to wiretap and otherwise spy on the Goldwater campaign in 64 illegally. Confirmed by former CIA Director William Colby and others. The FBI arranged for widespread wiretapping of the Goldwater campaign. Campaign reporters could soon be heard asking specific questions about, for example, the candidates' travel plans that had only been discussed by Goldwater aides behind closed doors. So I guess some 50 years later, this is version 2.0 of that, or at least it could be. Spygate, as President Trump is calling it. We had the revelation over the weekend of Stefan Halper being embedded in the Trump campaign and striking up a friendship with Carter Page, communicating with Sam Clovis, national co-campaign director for the Trump campaign, as well as George Papadopoulos. And then early in the week, you had Michael Caputo, who's testified before Congress before, eviscerated the Mueller investigation for negatively impacting his life, on the borderline of bankrupting, I think is what he was suggesting. And he was on with Laura Ingraham and said that Stefan Halper, that's not the only shoe to drop.
In Russia, they call this Siloviki, the national security leadership that secretly spies on the entire citizenry of Russia. And here we are in the United States with our own Siloviki underneath President Obama. Let me tell you something that I know for a fact. This informant, this person that they tried to plan into the campaign and even into the administration, if you believe Axios, he's not the only person that came at the campaign. And the FBI is not the only Obama agency that came at the campaign. I know because they came at me. And I'm looking for clearance from my attorney to reveal this to the public. This is just the beginning. And I'll tell you, when we finally find out the truth about this, Director Clapper and the rest of them are going to be wearing some orange suits.
Well, that would be a banner day if that does come to pass. And now we're pleased to be joined by Michael Caputo, Republican strategist and media consultant, former Trump campaign advisor. I assume he's gotten cleared by his attorney, and he's going to tell us the agency and the name today. Michael, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Good, thank you. So where does that stand with what you're able to talk about with respect to your experience on the campaign in the context of Spygate?
Well, in fact, I was approached twice by two different people in two different states, actually, completely unrelated to each other. The first one was the one in early May that I discussed on television this week, which was a national security government contractor contacted me through an intermediary, an old friend of mine, and said that the National Security Agency had Hillary Clinton-related emails that we might be able to get them for the campaign, and was offering to give us a hand. I talked through the intermediary with this gentleman for about 2 weeks, maybe a little less. And at the end, because I'm a veteran of the United States Army, I had a security clearance back in those days. I went through all the briefings. I knew that if any of this material was classified, that I would be in real legal trouble. So I took a pass on it. I told them to go through the regular whistleblower process, and that the world would be interested, just not through me. And then this national security, a former national security government contractor, just dropped out of sight, didn't contact us anymore. That bothered me for 2 years. For 2 years, I scratched my head. And the intermediary, a very dear friend of mine, we would meet for dinner when I visited Washington. And, of course, it would come up during dinner, and he was scratching his head. We could never figure it out. And then, of course, in October of 2016, we had the dump from WikiLeaks. When we were told that these emails were being held by the NSA, this former contractor said that he had seen 2 documents that he believed were emails. One of them was discussing how the Swedish government and a Swedish company had given $26 million to the Clinton Foundation in exchange for a waiver to deal with Iran around the sanctions. That company got that waiver. Now, that story had been reported a little bit by conservative media in 2015. But lo and behold, when the WikiLeaks dump came at the end of October, the big October surprise, within those emails was one or a series starring Hillary Clinton's campaign manager talking about how the Swedish situation was very worrisome. Now that, of course, set up a red flag for me and my friend, the intermediary. It kept bothering us for a long time. 2 years we didn't know what to think. And then, of course, this weekend, what happens, it's revealed that Stefan Halper, who was paid by the Department of Defense, a former CIA operative, was working as an FBI informant tracking these members of the campaign policy committee. So immediately I knew, because, I had revealed this approach to the House Intelligence Committee, the Senate Intelligence Committee, and the Mueller investigation, and I had given all of them the telephone number of my friend, the intermediary, to give them an opportunity to figure this out. And they never called him. They didn't seem interested. In fact, when I spoke to the Mueller team, they didn't even take notes. I offered them a copy of the overview that I had read to them, the timeline I had read to them. They didn't want it. So I just thought it was important to bring it up. I believe that government contractor could be involved in some of this spying. And I think the Department of Justice Inspector General should sort that out. The president, very wisely, over the weekend, demanded that the Inspector General of the DOJ expand his investigation into things that the Obama administration had done to include these approaches to the campaign. Once he did that, I felt free to talk about it, and my attorney is contacting the Department of Justice Inspector General and requesting an opportunity for me to come in and tell them exactly what happened.
Then why are top Democrats, some who saw some of this evidence yesterday, claiming that there is no evidence of spying in Trump's campaign? I mean, you had Adam Schiff up there. Paul Ryan was reserved and said that's classified information. I'm not giving you an answer, but are they seeing something that's not there?
Well, I mean, Adam Schiff has a tell if you watch him. You know when he's lying.
Yes,
because
his mouth
lips
is moving.
are
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an inveterate liar, and he does it with impunity because he has the protections of a Congress. He's allowed to say whatever he wants from the halls of Congress. So he's a liar. It's been proven. And I'll tell you, what's really interesting to me is that in the 1970s, the Democrats were up in arms about very similar misbehavior by the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, spying on the American people. And they put together the Church Committee, if you remember that, Frank Church, a Senate Select Committee, to examine this, which resulted in over 100 members of the FBI, the NSA, and especially the CIA were let go, fired. And for decades, new people would come into the CIA, and the old grizzled veterans would say, hey, whatever you do, don't break the law, because that's going to happen to you. You'll get fired. Now the Democrats who were cheering that on back in the late 70s and continue to look at the Church Committee as heroic work are confused by why we would want a similar examination of Obama's FBI, NSA, and other national security organizations.
I want to go back to something that you said, though. These names that you said contacted you, the people that you said contacted you, that you were suspicious of, you turn these names over to House and Senate, the relevant House and Senate committees before which you've testified, to the Mueller team, and nobody was ever followed up with. Is it your supposition that they were not followed up with because they're sort of known assets of law enforcement that were embedded in Trump's campaign?
Frankly, the first time I turned it over to the House Intelligence Committee was, I think, early this year. And, of course, I every time I called my buddy, the intermediary, he said, nope, haven't heard from him. And then the same thing happened at the Senate and the Mueller Committee early this month, the 1st and 2nd of May. No call to the intermediary. And I was just like, maybe they think it's kooky. Maybe they'll get around to it. Maybe they're just terrible investigators. Maybe their phones are broken. I couldn't figure it out. And then when the Stephen Halper thing came to light, I thought, well, here's what it might be. Yep. And I thought it was my duty as an American citizen and a supporter of the President of the United States to make this known.
How do you know that the two individuals you're referring to were with a specific, specific law enforcement or intelligence agencies?
The intermediary is somebody I've known for many years. He later joined the Trump campaign. He was only approached because he was a friend of mine. And then the original, the former government contractor knew that he could get to me through him. So I don't consider him to be the least bit culpable for any of this. But the primary, the government contractor, I didn't know what he was. I couldn't figure it out. And we were actually reaching out to him earlier this year to try to, poke at it a little more, and he didn't get back to us. And I just kind of dropped it and gave it to the committees because that's their job. So, he could, this could be a big misunderstanding, but it could also be the keys to the kingdom of God. It's somewhere in between is probably the answer. And it's the responsibility of the Inspector General to figure that out.
During your time on the Trump campaign, was there any discussions among senior staff and advisors about the possibility that the campaign was being surveilled?
We used to talk about it a bit, that our phones were being bugged. It was kind of idle chatter. We were warned, not officially, but by senior officials that it might happen or that might have happened. We didn't really... we didn't sweep the place or anything like that. But, you hear that kind of chatter on a presidential campaign. I didn't pay it any mind. But I'll tell you, it sure looked like that chatter was pretty prescient.
He is Michael Caputo, Republican political strategist and media consultant, former Trump campaign advisor. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you?" You don't even look like the same person. He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
You've heard about the coin show. Now you need to make plans to go. Find out what collectors and investors have known for years. It's fun, full of history, and it can be a great investment. Make plans to attend the Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show. It's one of the largest in the nation, and it's free. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show is at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, June 7th through the 9th. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers and displays. The best coin dealers from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and much more. Find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, June 7th through the 9th at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Remember, admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Get more information at chicagocoinshow.com. That's chicagocoinshow.com.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life, a moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
So, you're a truck driver, a clutch cowboy, a wrangler of the road. At Ozinga, you are exactly who we need. Concrete truck drivers. People who aren't afraid of a little adventure and hard work. If you're tired of monotony and are looking to build something that matters, then come build with us. At Ozinga, we are building our families, our communities, and our country. Apply online today at ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Hey, come see me, Joe Walsh, Saturday, June 2nd at the Heartland Institute's 3rd annual Picnic for Freedom. Enjoy free barbecue, raffle prizes, and great giveaways from the Heartland Institute, your local think tank in Arlington Heights. Don't miss this celebration of freedom and the great policy victories happening in America. The Heartland Institute has been fighting for smaller government and more individual liberty since 1984. They work to support school choice and wasteful government spending and lower taxes. They also encourage economic growth, ending Obamacare, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and advocate real science to end the hysteria over climate change. Come learn more about Heartland at its picnic with free food, family fun, and me serving as MC from 3 to 7 p.m. on Saturday, June 2nd. The Heartland Institute is at 3939 North Wilkie Road in Arlington Heights. Go to heartland.org for information and to register. That's heartland.org. I'll see you there on Saturday, June 2nd.
AM 560, The Answer.
Remembering Chris Cuomo on a very special Dan and Amy. He's moving from the morning to the night.
Yeah, he's making the move to prime time to go up against, Rachel Maddow and Fox's Sean Hannity. It's CNN's 9 p.m. slot. So he's only been on New Day for 3.5 years, but you'd think he spent his whole life there. Listen to his family was brought on, his 2 darling children.
A
his
farewell
wife.
show.
Yeah, and Allison, they were saying goodbye.
I got to say a couple things, then we'll go. One, you were a gift here. Everything changed when you came. So
I love you. I love you so much.
You guys let me do my job.
This is his kid.
And you're the reason I do it. And you made me.
He does it for the kids.
So
you made me a better man.
I won't be there at night. Homework will be easier for you now. Because Mommy's going to be the one telling you to read, telling you you're wrong about not having homework. And the big one doesn't even come. The 15-year-old. That's having a teenager.
That's right.
The show is a gift. The crew is amazing. The show will continue to get better. I know this for a fact. And I have a heavy heart about leaving, but my mind is clear.
It's so emotional. If I don't come back from the evening show, just remember I love you kids.
And they changed the open.
This is New Day without Chris Cuomo.
Oh, they're so funny over there. But then they threw it to Poppy Harwell or Poppy Fields. And she had this comment.
A bittersweet, emotional day. And Chris, to you, as much as I want to make jokes, I think my message to you is you made us all better journalists from day one. But for me, you made me a better parent. And you were the one that always told me before I had our 2 children, it's all about the kids, it's all about the family. That's number one. So thank you for that.
I had no idea until you told me it was all about my kids for me. I had no idea.
Oh, my gosh.
Ah, boy. You
stuff.
complete me, Chris. You complete me. And
I heart you.
I hope I get that kind of send-off when I replace Art Bell.
Oh, my gosh. Thanks for making us a part of your week. Have a safe weekend. 9 a.m. time for Fox News.